All right, we
Peace and
live.
blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday to talk basketball and the GOAT conversation. We live again right here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button, you hit the share button. Let everybody know that we are live and ready to go today. Also, check out our membership as a GOAT James Kingdom membership. Perks are available to all our members. Actually, we got Anthony Davis here. What up, Anthony Davis? He is a member of the GOAT James Kingdom membership on YouTube. Shout out to Steve O. Thank you for joining us, sir. How are you doing today? So as you can see,
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we got folks here showing up today. So we're gonna have a great conversation about basketball. We're gonna talk about the NBA Finals. Obviously, it's over. The NBA season's over, including my Miami Heat. So everybody can come in and talk to me about that, and we can talk about just in general, where does Jokic rank? Because he was the MVP of the finals. So we're gonna get into all of that great discussion. And we're gonna have a great day. First off, shout out everybody who's a father. Happy Father's Day to Brandon. Happy Father's Day, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Father, you know?
I think Anthony's a father as well. Shout out to Anthony. Steve O, if you're a father, happy Father's Day to you as well. Shout out to everybody who's a father.
Thank you.
Out there, doing your thing, representing the black male as positive as we can. Those that are keeping up with their child support, also keeping up with their custodial custody of their kids and all of that, making sure they're staying up with the visits. So shout out to everybody that's in the actual chat line right now. I already see our usuals. We got Crash. What up, Zero? Zero's in the building. We got my boy Taiwan Gant. All right. A Weezy Bang is in the building. Shout out to A Weezy Bang. Thank you for everybody who's wishing us happy Father's Day. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook account, and our Facebook group has just hit 30K. So shout out to us for that. And we here, gentlemen. We here, man. What up, Brandon? What's good, brother? You're on mute, Brandon. You're on mute.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I know Steve-O is one of the people who want to challenge us to exposing GOAT James Kingdom today. So good luck with that. It's gonna be fun.
All right, everybody can hear. Everybody can hear Brandon clearly, or is it just me?
Nah, he's choppy.
It's a little staticky, yeah.
Okay. So it's you, Brandon. So you are choppy.
Okay.
Yeah, so you are choppy.
Let me see what I can do about that.
All right, but okay. So Steve-O, you are here for exposing GJK.
Not exposed. I'm here to debate. Sometimes in the groups, man, it gets a little crazy. People get a little too sensitive about it. By the end of this, I don't plan on moving y'all, and I don't plan on y'all moving me. But last week, Shiloh was kind of shallow, so got to bring some points here for the argument, man.
Well, but this is the thing. This is the thing, though. You understand what you're supposed to be doing. If you just want to have a conversation, we could always have a conversation. That's what GOAT James Kingdom is about.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely. But I'm giving you, like last week, I saw, and I forget which one of y'all it was, kept saying, tell me why Michael Jordan's the GOAT. And he kept just saying one thing, basically. And there's a lot of reasons.
Well, you will get 5 reasons, and you will get up to 5 minutes, a minute per section for you to be able to do that. So that's what you want to do today, or you just want to have a conversation?
That's what I want to do.
Okay, so that's
I'm just saying, I don't feel like people got their heels dug in on who the GOAT is, and I just don't feel like it's gonna move anybody. But I can bring some valid stuff to the table for maybe the masses. If you move one person, you're making progress.
Yeah, well, the reason we're doing this is we really want to see if anybody can actually explain to us why Michael Jordan is the GOAT, not why they don't like LeBron James. So, so we'll get to that later on, and we'll make sure it's just you. We'll send everybody to the waiting room when we get to that moment. But for now, we'll have a great conversation about basketball. We see Travis showing up. What up, Travis?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, my friend? How's everything? You good? Happy Father's Day to you too, if you're a father. Again, Steve-O, I know how you feel about that. We actually wanted to speak about that. So what have you thought of the so far panelists that have come up to try to explain why Michael Jordan's the GOAT? What was your issue with them?
They don't give pertinent reasons. Like they stick to 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings. You hear that all the time, and that's part of the equation. But it's not. That's not the overall thing that makes him the GOAT.
Okay. Well, you're gonna get your chance to make a better job. Travis already has been a part of this. You know, he's a Michael Jordan fan. He believes Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And again, when we call you a Michael Jordan fan, that means you have Michael Jordan as the GOAT. Don't take it offensively.
Yeah.
Don't get angry. If you guys don't take one for the team, I'm sorry. When you come to GOAT James Kingdom, you take one for the team. Anthony, what's good, brother? Thanks for joining us, man. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well, man. Just glad to finally get a chance to be on the show. You know, I've been looking forward to this. I'm usually in church on Sundays, but I got this Sunday off. I'm here, and you know how I feel about LeBron. So I'm glad this is my kind of platform.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Can y'all hear me better now? Hey, can you hear me
go-
better now? It's still choppy.
It's still
choppy.
still
A
choppy.
little bit.
Yeah, it's still choppy a little
Oh
bit.
my goodness! I mean, let me just restart my computer.
Okay. Okay. So, what up, Ralph?
Yo, what's happening, guys, man?
Happy Father's Day, brother. Thank you for joining us. It's been a while. It's been a while, man. It's good to see your face, man. What's good? You have you been keeping up with the show? Or have you been keeping up with us? What's going on with James Kingdom?
I've been watching it. Like, you know, I had a lot of things going on. I tapped in here and there. And even that last show, I tried to, you know, I was all the way in South Carolina and I was in town in South Carolina. So I had some reception. I was trying to chime in, but the show ended. So, you know.
I hear you, brother. Thanks again for coming on. You
Always.
you are the MJ delegate leader, correct? Even though you don't take one for the team.
No, you already know how I feel about that. Ain't no taking one for the team. Listen here. When you come across these trolls and everything, is the ones that don't have the knowledge of actually explaining why Jordan is the GOAT, don't reel me into them. You know, from day one, I said, I'm not taking one for the team. We're not doing that.
I know it's funny because the last 3 episodes you have not been here, and it has been about that for the last 3 episodes. So, but anyways, brother, welcome. Thanks for joining us, man. It's good to see y'all. As y'all can see, Brandon got a little bit of some technical difficulties going on here. So Anthony, you said you was able to show up today because you had the day off. Is that because it's Father's Day? You was like no church.
Well, a little bit of everything. It just so happened my wife is out of town, so I have the kids and that day watching TV. So, you know, I said, hey, I've been telling her I like this show because, you know, I put it on and she sees me catching up with what you got going on. I said, I want to go on the panel one day. So she went out of town. I said, I'm going to go on this day while you're out of town, keep the kids busy. And here I am. So
word, man. But they, you know,
they gave delighted to be here.
Thank you. But they gave us Father's Day, right? Basically, with no real sports going on, right? Basketball just ended. We all know the Denver Nuggets are the NBA champions, and it's been a very interesting NBA season. A lot of things went down this year. So a lot of stuff to talk about. What's up, Brandon? You good now? Can you hear us?
Looks like he froze now.
Yeah, you having bad connection today, boy. Today is not your day.
Yeah,
You're freezing.
Still a little choppy, still freezing.
Yeah.
You're using McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Is that better for you?
Nah, you still bad, brother. It's still bad for you.
So bad. I'm gonna just go on my phone.
Yeah.
All right. Wayne, we'll try to get you the link. Okay, what's good? SB just joined us. Welcome,
SB, what's poppin'?
What's good, man? SB, I don't know if you were father, but happy Father's Day, brother.
Oh yeah, I got two of them things. Yes, sir.
I said 2 of them things.
I probably got the most out of everybody. I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Let's put it like this: Ralph got more children than Jordan got rings. I let y'all know how much.
He ain't lying.
But again, y'all, we'll get Brandon involved when Brandon gets his when he gets his chance to come back. But let's talk about the finals. So we'll start with you, Steve-O, man. What you think about the finals and the whole, Joker MVP and where do you think the Nuggets and Joker ranks now as the Nuggets have put themselves in the echelons of championship talk?
It was a great season for them. To get the chemistry back after missing dudes and to be able to make the run that they did. And everybody knocks and they talk about the seeding, but there was a lot of parity in the league this year. A lot of parity, a lot of big moves at the trade deadlines, teams reshaped, and they just stayed steady all year long. You can see it coming.
Yeah, they were a great team, man. All right, Anthony, what you think about the finals, man?
I was pulling for the Miami Heat. I didn't think Miami was gonna win it. I was pulling for a few dudes, for a couple of friends I got who live in Miami or from Miami. Good dudes. But the core guys have been there for a minute. They've been working towards this. Jamal Murray was unbelievable. A great number 2. Jokic, is super special. I think that he could have won 3 MVPs in a row. I think he probably should have, in my opinion. I know Embiid is the guy, but I always felt that Jokic was that guy. I think with this Finals MVP and his performance, he solidifies himself as a top 20 guy and rising. I think when you look at his advanced stats, you look at what he's done, he's historically great, and I think he's proved that we need to pay attention to this guy, that he's legit. This era of basketball is the golden era of basketball to me. When you look at what the league is now compared to what it's been.
I feel you. What up, Travis?
Yeah, what's up?
You available, man? So what you think of Jokic, man? Is it official now? Is a white man the best basketball player in the
NBA? Yeah, I mean, he's can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Yeah, I think kind of Anthony said exactly what I've been saying. Is he's definitely top 20 to me now, and he's by far the best player in the league. I mean, it's from a true all around standpoint. Like he doesn't like his stats come naturally in the flow of the game. You never see him pressing. And like I said before last week, I think that team, I mean, not in the sense that they were as dominant, but they remind me of the 01 Lakers, where you had a true dominant big, a great wing, and then you had super consistent role players, and they just answered the bell every time. Super great team. Best team I've seen in a while. It's actually kind of refreshing to see that. But yeah, again, like Anthony said, there was a lot of parity. It was an entertaining season. You never really had a sense of, hey, this team is unbeatable. They're going to run the table. And yeah, it made for an entertaining season.
Yeah, great season, man. It was a great season. So what up, Ralph, man? We haven't heard from you for a while, man.
Yeah.
TikTok's been a little bit wild.
Yeah, you're right.
So what's good, man? What you think about my Heat, man, and all that happened during the finals, man? Because I know everybody had the Heat in within 4 to 5 games, anyways, and it did happen, but it was a remarkable finals because both those guys, Murray and Jokic, put up great numbers. Jokic put up Shaq numbers.
Well, my thing is like, I think that Joker is the best player in the league. Mm-hmm. But I'm not ranking him just yet because it's too early, you know. He's only played he's played so many he only played like 8 seasons. Mm-hmm. And for me, I want to see what he can do down the line, for the fact that we don't know if he may have that Bill Walton effect. We don't know. So I want to see what he can do further on. Now, as far as the MVPs and the numbers that he's putting up is crazy. Don't get it wrong. But I want to see further down the line of what he can do after this. Now, he has that ring. Can he continue on doing this? Keep on having a consistent amount of seasons to where he's able to perform this way. And as far as this season, I mean, that team is giving me vibes of that Spurs. That team gave me vibes of the Spurs in the early 2000s, how the way they were able to play together and how free-flowing it was and everything going through Joker. That's my take on that, you know.
Yeah, I like the idea of a big man controlling things now. Y'all love it. When it gives y'all traditional basketball feelings. Y'all feel good. We got Shaq references, and now we got Duncan references. What up, SB?
What's going on, family?
Man, nothing much, man. Listen, I'm glad I had a few days to recover from my Heat losing because it happened.
Yeah. That was the best thing about the finals, watching you suffer because your team losing, man.
Facts.
You've been kind of on the tear since the Heat lost, man. You editing show clips and stuff, man. You got to hilarious.
I was told when you go to war, you got to have ammunition. So
that's right.
That's
right.
Yeah,
I had Denver at 6, by the way.
Denver at 6.
I don't know why.
I had Denver at 6.
By the way, don't do that, SB. You had them sweeping us, so you off too.
I mean, they should have swept y'all.
They should have. No, they shouldn't have. They should have went 7, like I said. They should have.
That broom had a bow tie on it.
But what you think of Jokic? Obviously, you know he's a beast. And
Jokic, another thing too. About the FYF thing. So if y'all want to get on there, just to regularly get on there, Joe, he go live. Just drop the link in the chat. But if y'all want to do like how like the debate thing, how much you must have seen like when we did they had a debate day. Yeah, you can set up. I can plug y'all in with that. So y'all want to get y'all some debates, and I can plug y'all.
Yeah. By the way,
that's my boy.
Yeah, by the way, what SB's talking about, there's a channel called FYF Debates. Is that what it's called?
FYF Debates, yeah.
Yeah, them guys actually have a great content of debating. It is all great for fun, real, brothers getting up there and men getting up there and talking whatever they want to talk about, debating, having fun. It's kind of like wrestling. I liked it. I loved it. No, it is. It's true. Guys got their own characters. We all know everybody has their own way of talking. So shout out to them. We actually did subscribe to the channel. We saw you on there getting cooked in the chat line though, SB. They were cooking you in the chat.
And I had to go crazy. That's what I was like. They was like the chat. I'm like, bro, the chat hate me over there. Then I went and I cooked dude. I 3-0'd them, and then I was like,
I missed that match.
I might clip it up so I didn't put it on TikTok and stuff. But but to think back to the Jokic thing though. All time, I think sometimes we jump the gun, and this is what a problem where like I do respect from the point. I think y'all might overvalue totals, but this is why I do have respect to totals, because what totals do show is how much work you've been putting in for a long amount of time. Jokic ain't top 100 in a lot of stat categories. He look efficient, like you said. He played 8 years. 4 years was excellent. The other 4 was like average. So it's like it's hard for me. I don't care if he got like now if he won 3 MVPs in a row and a championship, that's something historic, and then you got to put a little more weight to it. But he got the accolades, but he still got to put in more work on the back end. Because I can't just make nobody over all-time great players who've been putting years of work over a guy putting 4 years of elite work. When you got people like not even going to the top 10 because he's not there. You got Dirk. You got and only reason why Giannis a little bit higher because he still didn't put work in. He did like the MVP Defensive Player of the Year the same year. Stuff like that's something historic. Put yourself in a historical category. But like the Dirks, KGs, Jerry West, Isaiah Thomas, all the guys. If he keep on this trajectory, yes, he could be higher, but I think he should be around that 25-30 range right now. He's looking great, and he's projected to be higher, but he got to put in more work. I think the Nuggets are set up for them to put because they're not really losing nobody. I think they're going to bring Bruce Brown back. So, Jokic is great. This also for everybody saying that nobody watched the finals. The finals one of the most watched finals in the last 5 years. It's just not LeBron fans. You Lakers fans got to stop being bitter because I know they kind of like intertwined because they like in this heat about it. Lakers fans, y'all got to stop being bitter, bro. Everybody gonna watch it. Everybody gonna watch basketball at the end of the day.
Talking about being bitter, you from Chicago. We know how Chicago fans be. What up, Brandon? You
good now?
We bitter. What up, Brandon? You good?
Yeah, it should be good now. I just went up on my phone.
All right, so what's good, Brandon, man? So what you think about Joker, man? You ready to talk about Joker? What you got for us?
I know with his advanced stats is like off the charts. Like the dude is amazing with advanced stats, but like SB was saying, we can't really judge him off of 8 years when he had 4 great years and 4 so-so years. So, once he get around year 12, I think that's when, we're going to start talking more about him. But, Giannis is already up there as well. Like Jokic is up there. Who's in the top 25? You got people like Karl Malone, Barkley, David Robinson, John Stockton. Do he trump those players who had much longer careers because of what he's doing today? So that's kind of hard just to boost him up above them right now. So it's hard at the moment, even though what he's doing on the floor is, amazing. I know you guys are talking about Denver's like already an all-time great team. I don't think that at all. I don't really think they were a great team this year. I just think they played the best in the playoffs this year. They're not an all-time great team. I wouldn't put them nowhere near top 25 greatest teams of all time. But, Denver played great this year. You don't be an all-time team just in 1 year. So let's see what they do next year.
Yeah. No, you know what? I agree with you, Brandon, because Steve-O brought it well. It was a lot of parity. We talked about it all year long, how there was really nobody that was actually taking grip and saying, okay, this is the best team. They're going to win the championship. We all kind of thought Milwaukee would be that team. So, and when you really think about the playoffs, the Heat made a run. The Lakers made a run. You know, so it was so much parity that someone like the Nuggets, which people didn't even really think nothing of it, they did win 59 games, which is a lot of games to win. They were 1 game from winning 60, but still, it was so much parity in the league, you didn't really see it because, like you said, they got hot at the right time. And we all said that whoever gets hot at the right time stays healthy, could really win a championship this year. I don't know about them being the greatest team of all time. That would be really hard to do, but it is great that they did win a championship. So that is a good thing. They are champions. Now, Joker's year is weird because he only shot 15 shots per game this year. Like that's kind of like when you really think about.
Like he's a offensive weapon. That's what he is.
No,
He's just not a scorer. Yeah, he's an offensive weapon.
But his efficiency was over 60%. So even though he was only taking 15 shots, he was still able to average almost 25 points per game. So he was super efficient, and he was shooting 38 from the 3-point line as a big man. Mind you, getting you 10 assists or close to
ridiculous.
10.
I want to say he was shooting 40 for the season.
No, it was 38.
I think Craig backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was 38.
He was 38.
He dipped 38 at the end.
Yeah.
I remember at one point he was shooting like 41.
It was going to be 60, 40, 80 for the season. It was close to something.
And then
like that.
I think them last few games, that's when it dipped down to 38.
All right. What up, Craig? What up, Wayne?
Yo.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We got a whole full panel, y'all. As y'all can see, this is GOAT James Kingdom. This is how we do basketball talk. This is how we be grown men on Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers down there. Craig, happy Father's Day to Wayne.
Same to y'all.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like buttons. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all go ahead and share the content. See us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We are all over the place. This is GOAT Conversation at its finest. You find it here at GOAT James Kingdom. Before we get to YouTube, gentlemen who just joined here, I just want to finish up on Joker. We're going to talk about where Joker ranks all time because I see some of y'all say you don't want to rank him too much. But how about centers? Can we rank him as a top 10 center of all time? We'll start with you, Steve-O.
Not quite. You know, he had some developmental years, so now he's got to show some years of consistency to break into that sector. Has all the potential to do it because he's amazing to me. I mean, he's not even not athletic. He's kind of clumsy, and he's dominating the game in every facet. It's crazy to watch that.
No, it's true. It's true. He is really. They talk about Bird being unathletic. This guy's the most unathletic superstar ever. What up, Anthony? Do you put him in your top 10 centers of all time?
Yes, I think it's hard not to. I think sometimes, you know, when it comes to rankings, I understand what everybody's saying, but this dude got 2 MVPs, a championship and the finals MVPs, and some of the most efficient years that we've ever seen, right? At 27, it's hard not to put him in the top 10, you know, whereas we said things like Michael Jordan was the greatest after 9 seasons. Like people didn't have any problem with that, right? So I don't have a problem.
You had to start it. You had almost started.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I'm just like there's always apprehension about other guys, but I think for him, I mean,
go with the Jordan. Brought up.
No, I had to do that. I had to troll a little bit. But this dude had 10 assists. I mean, it's like, you know, it's hard to.
Notice he said average 10 assists, not got total 10 assists. Notice he said that. I'm just pointing out. I just noticed he didn't say nothing about totals.
It's hard. It's hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Craig. That is Craig, the vice president of the MJ delegate group down here. Coach James Kingdom.
He was live yesterday. He was going in yesterday. He had time yesterday on
Oh yes,
I'm just saying.
Craig is on Facebook.
Craig came in on business.
But yeah, it's hard for me not to.
But real quick, Anthony, don't you have to give us the list? Where do you got him in your top 10 though? What number do you have him at?
And within the top 10, I haven't really thought about it that deeply.
Now, he's not top 5. Is he top 5? He's just top 10, not top 5. So he's 5 through 10. All right, Travis, where you putting Jokic? He's top 10 for you, Travis?
He's definitely top 10 centers for me. I mean, especially if you're going. I mean, you look at generally the 5 centers that we would consider like immortal, like they're never ever gonna lose their places. You got like Bill, Kareem, you know, you've got Shaq, and you know all those guys. Like they're really not even gonna move. And like who else fills out that list? Like would it be like Moses Malone, Wilt, of course,
David Robinson,
you know, Robinson. But I mean, he's
Artist
you know, Hakeem. I think that I would say probably I put him like a 9 or 10. Like somebody else was saying here, he's been, he's not like really in the beginning of his career. He's, I would say, kind of like the midway point probably, and he still has more to prove. But he already has some of the accolades that I think warrant a top 10 in that center position. And like you said, he's just kind of like what Bird would have been if he was 7 foot tall, which is incredible. He has that insane core vision, probably the best core vision of any center ever. He has underrated footwork, I think. He's not athletic for sure, but he's, he makes up for it with just unparalleled skill at that position. And yeah, like I said, he was super efficient, but he's definitely top 10 for me. Let's see where he ends up year 9, 10, 11, 12. But, considering the average player only lasts 4.5 years, the longevity thing is already accumulating. So we'll see where he goes.
All right, that's true. What's good, Ralph? Where you got him? I know you had this conversation a few times this week, but I didn't hear your take on that.
Well, like I'm staying consistent. Like he's got to put in some more time. I mean, what he's doing is astounding. I mean, especially for centers and everything. And I want to point this out. I feel like that Joker's defense is very, very underrated. It's like by him not being athletic, we don't see his defense like any other big man, but he is very smart when it comes to playing on ball with these players. Like, even if you've seen in the LA series, you've seen him that he had some blocks in that series, and how the way he's able to make other players switch their shots up in the paint. So I think like his defense is very underrated, because a lot of people say, oh, he's horrible on defense, he's not that good. I don't think that's the case. It's just that we when we see defensive players, we think like, oh, you have to be able to jump very high, be athletic, and block shots, and like that. That's not Joker. It's like he brings his defensive side on a different level. But as far as ranking him on an all-time centers list, I want to see a bit more.
You know what? Talking about that, Ralph, we made a post like that on TikTok because Broussard was mentioning that, because like Brandon said, the analytics says Joker plays good defense. All the analytics says Joker plays good defense, but people go, quote unquote, your eye test. Like I keep telling y'all, he don't play good. I had people say, he don't play no defense. He actually plays good defense. He's not as good as Embiid or as a Giannis. We're not saying that, but he does play good defense. Yo, what up, SB? What you think? Are you still on the same board then? He doesn't have enough stats to be in the top 10?
No, I think top 10 centers get a little bit different with that. I still think he put work, but it's just like only reason why, because the bottom 10 of the center list kind of does get a little light. And I think it's light at the bottom where he could possibly sneak in at that bottom, because then it's like once you get past like the 5 that everybody know, then like 6, 7, 8, 9 through 10, where you got like Robinson, Ewing. Yeah. Like what? How many more names can you really go? And it's like his accolades can probably put it. If he in the top 10, like 9, 10, 11 range, I don't think he no higher than that. But I think he deserves to be in the conversation. I also do agree with that too. I don't think Joker is bad on defense as everybody say he is. I think he like average, like above average, like a little bit around that range. But it's like he don't make the wrong reads. He's just not athletic enough to go make the reads on like fast enough. That's it. But if you actually like look at him play, he's just not athletic enough to do what he can on defense. But for the top 10 center conversation, I think he's in that conversation for that. That's only because the bottom half is like, I think. Yeah, he probably sneak up in there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What up, Craig, man? Thanks for joining us, brother, man. We talking Joker in the finals. It's the end of the year. Sad point for us basketball fans. We got baseball coming up till football time. But what you think about Joker, man? And then you got him anywhere ranked in your top 10, since averages matter, not totals?
Wait, y'all talk about top 10 centers all time after one title? That's what we. So
this one also title. So we don't. So this so the one title.
I'm just saying, he won the title. So now we talking. Is he the great one? That's the reason. If he didn't win the title, we wouldn't be having a discussion about him, would we?
No, I mean, yeah, obviously winning the title, but being an MVP. Okay. But he also has league MVPs.
Oh, now MVPs count, huh?
Let me ask you a question. Because I was going to ask Ralph this: is he better than Patrick Ewing?
Is he better than Patrick Ewing as a true center? They
I'm
said
taking
pretty much
Jokic over
even.
Patrick Ewing for sure.
You're saying 10 centers.
I see
Centers
what
have a
you're doing. You're
specific-
taking shots at my Knicks, but it's cool.
I didn't take a shot.
It's cool.
I just think Patrick Ewing is one of the greatest centers
I
of
mean,
all
you
time.
can't
I just
say
want to
in the
know
top 10,
Objectively,
but he don't have no rings, so I just want to make sure Craig stay on point. Because we talking averages and rings.
but y'all
Objectively-
brought him up as a top 10 because he won the
No,
championship.
that's the conversation in the basketball world. And of course, we are GOAT James Kingdom. We talk what basketball world talk about. So we're
Okay.
going to talk about him being a top 10. We want y'all to get y'all opinion out there. We want y'all to hear, we want people to hear y'all. That's what y'all come up here
For
for.
me,
right?
he still need time in the league to be top 10.
He needs time, right? So time
Center
matters.
at position, but the bottom of the center half is light. Like it's light at the bottom half where he could get in.
I think him
Position
and
for the time.
I think me being objective with Ewing, I'm a Knicks fan, and this is gonna hurt me. I think I may edge him over Ewing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm from
Ralph.
New York. Yeah, I have to put him over you.
Oh my God, Ralph. This is recorded.
I
Ralph,
may
right?
I may edge him. I mean, but here's my thing: is
Not
like
crazy to say though. That's not crazy.
here's my thing. If somebody said Patrick was better, I wouldn't be mad. If they say Jokic was better, I wouldn't be mad. It's not worth argument to me.
Patrick is also an underrated defender as a center.
Patrick played.
He was a very good defender. He was a
Jokic
very
is
good
in a
defender.
positionless basketball. They just list him as a center because he's the tallest on the team. Patrick Ewing played as a true center.
Oh, here you
So
go.
this
Here you go.
top 10 center thing right now is positionless basketball. He just labeled a center because he's the tallest on his team.
Yes, y'all. This is Father's Day. We are talking like men born in the 1900s. Good job, Craig. Good job, Craig. What up, Wayne? What up, Wayne? So, what you think about the Joker conversation, man? Because he is a great player, but people love to start ranking people very early. So let's see where you got him or what you think of that.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw a graphic where I think Ewing was the last person, and they stated his accolades, and then he compared him to Joker. So Joker edged him in the top 10 for sure. So, and then again with Giannis had like about 2 or 3 years where he wasn't more than 23 points, but he ascended. Same thing with Joker. So if you're gonna have Giannis after one title and one Finals MVP, also with did Giannis get two MVPs regular season?
They did the exact same thing.
Is Giannis a center? Are we going to consider Giannis a center?
No, Giannis
is a power forward. He's a power forward.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Giannis won 2 back-to-back MVPs and then the title year after. Jokic won back-to-back MVPs and then won the title after. They literally had the same 3-year span.
Like Anthony said,
the only difference, he got that deploy.
He got that deploy.
I don't remember
the
the 90s having 2 back-to-back big men doing this in the 90s, but let's continue. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, so he's
Jordan was winning
years.
on MVP, so they couldn't get no big man MVP.
Jordan only got 4 in there. Stop it. Go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead, Wayne.
So
he was the only one to go back to back in the 90s, though.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, Giannis is 10 years in, and Joker is 8 years in, but they share a similar career path so far. I did think Joker was robbed of a 3rd consecutive MVP. That was crazy. But
He
the
should have got
reality
it in 2022 though. Like it really was Embiid's last year. It really was.
Yeah.
It really
Last
was.
year, yeah.
I agree.
Last year, Embiid should have had it.
Embiid should have won it last year.
I ain't too sure about that.
I had to look this up. Only thing different too about Giannis and Jokic, like we was talking about, Jokic only got 4 years of being in the league. Giannis got he been in the league 10 years. He got 7 years of being in the league, so he got enough body of work with his accolades too.
Right.
Yeah.
But Jokic is also averaging like just rounding up 20, 11, and 7 for a career. So you got to give him some credence for that. He's the only person I think with Bird. Bird is averaging like 25, 10, and 6 or something like that. So you got to give some credence for that.
Patrick Ewing, let's bring this up. I'm gonna help y'all out right now. Patrick averages 21, 10, and 2.5 blocks.
Yeah.
All right. He shoots 50% from the field. All right. He has 7 All NBAs. And for his career, he's played 1,183 games. And he has 24,000 points and 11,000 rebounds.
Good. Well, ain't nobody stopping Joker with his numbers. He even came down a couple of points, but his field goal percentage went up to 60-something%.
Yeah, Jokic is incredible offensively.
That is pretty much unprecedented unless you just dunk in the ball, and he shoots the ball all over the damn place.
Yeah.
So I got to put him in the top 10 in centers. I think I would drop him in about eight right now. Because if after 4 years Shaq was a top 50 player and they rightly guessed that he would have done things in the league, I could afford to push. I could afford to push Jokic after 8 years and 2011 and 7, right at number 8.
With that Shaq situation, they even said it was too early. They said it was too early with the Shaq.
Right, but they guessed right. They guessed right.
They got it right.
Or did they plan it right?
So what up, Brandon? What you think, Brandon? What's your take on Joker, Brandon?
Jokic is Jokic, not Jokic. Jokic. Anyways, he's definitely top 10. I mean, that's not even a question. There's not 10 centers all time who's better than Jokic.
Right.
I mean, you have Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, Russell, and Hakeem, who's probably going to stay in that top 5 at the moment. Mm-hmm. But then you move down to David Robinson, you got Patrick Ewing, you got Moses Malone. Like, he's up in that era, that area. So he's up in that area. He's more of an impact than all those centers in the bottom 5. Mm-hmm. His career right now is better than theirs. Like, the dude is. I don't know why anyone would say he's not top 10 at the moment. Like, I know Johnny said Dwight Howard and Ben Wallace, which is ridiculous. Those guys are not better than Jokic.
Especially Ben. That was crazy. I agree with you.
They're not better than him career-wise. What Jokic is doing right now, what Jokic is doing right now, no center could probably stop him of all time.
But that's
the dude is a point guard playing center. Like, no center could run up and down the floor with him. Anthony Davis couldn't run up and down the floor with him. And he's a athletic power forward. And he's big. He's like Tyson Fury. He's just a big dude that nobody could stop.
Oh my God.
He's a big dude that nobody can stop. And I don't care who you put out there. Tyson Fury is not losing anybody. You put Jokic out there, it's not no one slowing him down.
Yeah, I don't see those. I have to agree with Lee on this. I don't really see no center that can stop him, bro. His offensive game is just crazy. It's nothing he can't do, bro, offensively, bro. It's nothing.
No. Granted, I give him that, but I do still feel
maybe like Hakeem, maybe.
No,
Hakeem, yes.
Yeah, I put my list.
That's it, though.
But wait a minute. Here's Ben Wallace's career. Here is Ben Wallace's career. Ben Wallace has 4 All-Stars, 5 All-NBA, 6 All-Defensive selections, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. He has an NBA championship. He has a block championship.
Ben Wallace can't lead anyone to a title by himself.
Yes. Huh?
Yeah.
Ben Wallace not leading anybody to a title.
So we're doing about leading, so it has to be leading? You can't
he can't do it. Jokic, we just saw him do it.
Who was the leader of the Detroit Pistons?
And he's going to continue to do this stuff. That's not even a good comparison.
Phillips was the leader of the
leader. Yeah, the leader. You said
that's not even a comparison.
Yes, I'm saying leader.
Chauncey Billups, yes, was the leader.
You sure he was the leader?
Chauncey led that team. Chauncey was the leader.
That team was predicated on Ben Wallace.
That team was led by Chauncey Billups.
You said led. You said keyword.
Ben Wallace. Those guys don't do nothing.
No, Ben Wallace did not lead anybody anywhere.
No.
Ben Wallace is great. He's a Hall of Famer, but Chauncey Billups was the reason that team ran.
What would we say? So, what would we say the centers that's ahead of Jokic right now if you put him in the top 10?
I mean, I put mine up there. It's Wilt, it's Bill Russell, Kareem, Hakeem, Shaq, Moses Malone,
Alonzo Mourning, David Robinson.
No, I put David Robinson.
Moses,
I put Artis Gilmore.
I love Artis, but he ain't.
I put also Dwight Howard and Ben Wallace.
After Moses, I'll put George Mikan.
Even if you want to go back as far as George Mikan, I'm just
George Mikan getting that work too.
George Mikan is old school.
I don't know.
I have something with the 50s. The 50s, 50s,
He got them 5 rings.
He does.
2-time. Yeah,
he does.
You can't deny that.
You can't
resume.
put him. You can't
deny that resume. Yeah.
Again, do I think Joker's going to eventually pass most of these guys? Yeah, of course. But that's the next question.
If it continues,
that's the next question I wanted to ask. Because we all witnessed Joker lose the Finals MVP during the Finals MVP celebration. The fact that he didn't even want to go to the parade, he was upset that the parade was like 3 days later. Is Joker going to play that much longer? Are we going to see an illustrious career? Is he going to play 5, 6, 7 years from now, or are we just going to see another good Joker and he's going to retire like a Barry Sanders or a Megatron, where he's just going to cut it off like a Jim Brown in the prime of his career?
Let's start with Steve. He's got a couple of $100 million, about $300 million more to get, $300 or $400 million.
We'll see. Okay, so let's. So, what do you think, Steve? Because if we really think
I doubt whether he giving that up.
He doesn't like basketball. It is a job to him. It is official to him. It's a job to him. He doesn't like it. It is literally a job to him. As great as he is, it is.
That's a lot of athletes.
No, but go ahead, Steve. What do you think, Steve, about Joker? You think he's going to have a illustrious career? Or you think he'll call it quits because he's going to get a lot of fame and a lot of scrutiny now that he's a star? He might not like it.
If he stays in the market that he's in, it won't be as bad. And like people made a big deal out of him saying that basketball is not the biggest thing. Like he's got a family; it shouldn't be the biggest thing. But I think he'll be fine. And I think the way he plays, like people who play without maximizing athleticism, they can do their thing for a while. So as long as he, mentally, like you said, as long as he can stick with it mentally, and being in Denver is not being in LA or New York, or one of the Texas teams, where it's a heavy media place,
Nobody wants to fly
change now that they champions.
What do you think, Anthony? What do you think, Anthony? You think Joker likes basketball enough to play 12, 13 years? He's played 8. He's at 8 right now.
I mean, that's hard. That's hard to tell. I mean, all I could evaluate is what I've seen, and he may not like it. It may be a job, but he's done it. He's doing it, right? He's doing it at a high level. He's doing it with high IQ. He's doing it with enough passion to win MVPs and win championships. So he's the evidence says that he wants to do this in some way, right? Mm-hmm. So I would doubt very seriously that he would go away very soon. But you never know with guys these days if the money is right and their lives off the court is what they want it to be. Yeah. What I've seen so far is that the guy has put in enough, effort to say that he's going to be around. And I don't care what anybody says. People would like to be at the top. You know what I'm saying? They like the accolades and the praise. So I think as long as that's there, I think he'll continue.
He doesn't seem to like it too much. He doesn't really seem to care about it too much. But what up, Travis? What you think, Travis? You think he's going to give us
just elite trash talk?
Nah, that's just the way he is. That's just the way he is. What do you think, Travis?
He trash talking people.
I mean, I think he's going to play at least 4 more years. I mean, I think that his main thing is he wants to have it established that he's not out for personal glory. And he's like, yeah, it's a job to me, family. But no, it's obvious in his game that he works hard. And he shows up. It's not just, he's just not just cashing a check. Otherwise he probably wouldn't have the pull of his teammates like he does and have the locker room. But I think he's going to continue working it better. Like somebody else said, it's in Denver. So it's kind of like, we fire and forget. It's like, oh, cool, we won the championship. But if he manages to turn them into a dynasty, then it will be like, oh man, these guys are like the Lakers of Colorado. They're going to draw inevitable comparisons, things like that. But I don't think he's going to go away anytime soon. Like you said, 8 years is already the double of most guys. But I think he's probably got 4 or 5 years, barring major injury, if he continues to play at a high level.
All right, that's what's up. So what up? So Ralph, what do you think about that? You think Jokic? Because to me, it seems like he doesn't really care. He just plays because he can do it, and it's easy. And if he wins, he wins. He don't. Then just keep moving. Just keep it moving.
Honestly, being 27, 28 years old, winning the championship the way the high level that he's playing right now. Honestly, I do feel like he's going to play more than 5 years. Long as he's keeping that high level play that he's been playing, I think we'll probably see a lot more than what people think. I think maybe about 34, 35, and then he won't extend his career like how LeBron has and like how we see KD's about to do and Steph is about to do. I see him about 34, 35, and they're hanging it up.
That's another 8 years. That's a long time. Okay. All right. What you think, SB? What do you think about Joker's nonchalant attitude and if he'll play long enough?
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it because I think Joker cared about the game enough to like work on his game. Because remember, Joker was out of shape. This season he really took the time in to get in shape. So he cares enough a little bit. But like you said, he don't think it's the end all be all. Now you said to limit to like 13 years. I think he gonna play 12, 13. I think he'd probably go like 15 max. Maybe do like another 7, and then probably hang it up from that point because. I watched the improvement from his game because if he really cares much like basketball, because y'all got to remember when he first came to Denver, he was a backup to who was the why I forget his name? I literally just had the name top of my head. He's the center for Portland now.
Nurkic.
Nurkic started over before then. He ended up taking Nurkic's spot because he just working to improve on his game. So I think he work on his game enough, get great. And then, like you said, I think he got another 7 in him, and then he just gonna call it one. Especially they winning, so
Wow, that's 15 years is a long time. 13, 15 years is a long NBA career. What about you, Craig? What you think? You think he'll play long enough?
I mean, I'll say he'll have one more max contract because ain't nobody gonna turn our rain down. What he get like $300 million the next time he get a big contract?
It might be 500. It might be a $500 million. It might be a $500 million.
He ain't gonna turn down that money.
What's the taxes looking like in Denver? I don't think his taxes high in Denver either, too. So he might be getting all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn down that town. You're gonna pay.
But you know the NBA. You know the NBA players get charged tax for every state they play in.
That's because of Jordan.
Yeah, you're right. That's because of Jordan. You're right because Jordan's such a punk. But anyway,
we're not doing that.
Blowing money fast.
We're not doing that.
Let me stop. Go ahead, Wayne. You were wanting to speak from the beginning. Go ahead, Wayne. What you think about Jokic, man?
Yeah, he is just about to start his 5-year Supermax deal. So I don't think once he clears that, by the time his 5th year comes, he's going to be attracting probably another $300-400 million. So I don't think he's going to turn that down. So that's probably going to give him. Good point. At this Supermax, he's going to be 13 years in if he completes it, and I think they will extend him earlier than that. So probably like 16, 17 years he's good for.
Oh wow!
There's another nine years or so.
If he plays another 8 to 9 years, he's going to have he'll have 20K, 10K, 10K. He'll have 10K, 10K.
If he keeps up with that level.
He's going to do it. It's going to be too easy.
His game going to be athleticism. It ain't going to go nowhere.
It's possible.
That's true.
Question.
I understand, but
quick question. I just wanted to know if anybody, I don't think anybody did 20, 10, and 10 before, right?
20, 10, and 10. No, nobody has even 27, 7, and 7.
No. I mean, 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. I don't think anybody ever did that before, right?
Nobody has 10,000 rebounds and 10,000 assists but LeBron.
Right. So there's actually somebody who did that? Damn.
I think Bron got 30.
Amazing.
Bron got 30.
Goat. Brandon. It's good, brother. What you think, Brandon?
Well, Jokic,
I just trolling it's Craig. I'm trolling Craig and SB right now.
I'm just saying, if another person happened, hey, then it's not so special anymore, right?
No, it's only 2 people, buddy. It's only 2 people.
Well, there's a lot of good things that
if like Jokic get 40, 10, and 10, that kind of put a damper on it. But we all doubt that's ever going to happen. But Jokic not really caring about basketball, don't really mean nothing because most NBA players don't, put basketball as number one anyway. So, Jordan didn't even put basketball number one. And look how he turned out. LeBron, I'm pretty sure basketball isn't the first. It's number one to him either. But yes, it is. I'm pretty sure it's not his family is. But for Jokic playing longer, I think he's going to play a good 15 years. He could play more than that. It just depends on, if he could stay in, basketball shape long enough, because right now he's not in the greatest shape, and he doesn't have to be in the greatest shape to do what he's doing. But to move up and down the court, to not get injured, he's going to have to be in, decent shape to do that. So it just depends on how he carries himself throughout that time past 15 years.
Plus, the league is going to take away this 82-game season sooner or later. Watch. You're going to have a 60-game season. Watch.
Stop that. We cannot have that.
I don't know if they want to give up money.
They can't give up that kind of money. They're never going to do that.
The owners are not going like that. The NFL is adding games. Like they're not going to just say, you know what, we don't want our money.
I mean, if my superstar player is only going to play 60 games, what's the point?
I mean, you got. I mean, it's not like if they're not playing, they're not making money. Like these are billionaires. They're not going to give up money because somebody don't want to play.
They already giving up money.
No, they're not. They're making money every game. They're making money every game.
NBA contract is guaranteed.
SB brought it up, right? SB, you brought up the viewership, right, in the finals?
Yeah.
Right? And what people
hasn't
forget
been
is,
in 5 years.
Yeah, and what people forget is that because we're no longer stuck to have we're no longer stuck having to watch television on just cable TV. People don't understand that live streaming is very popular, and the live streaming is hundreds of millions, more than the American population in general. So the NBA is global. So you don't have to worry about the 30 million that were watching the 90s finals. You can still have 25 million watching watching the finals today, but you have over 250 million people online watching the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole
different. That's specific.
No, of course. No, I know.
I mean, they do every game. Like this is 2023. This is not the 90s.
Right.
The NBA is super popular. The NBA is super popular. The NBA is
and that killed the narrative that nobody was gonna watch the finals because Curry or LeBron wasn't in it. That killed that narrative quick.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to my little take, before we get going, like Steve-O, do you want to try your take at Exposing GJK, which is getting
that Ralph? Eating a bag of chips.
That's me, man.
I would have muted myself.
My bad. Steve, do you want to give it a try, or you just want to keep the conversation going? Because if we want to give this a try, we're going to put everybody into the waiting room, and it'll.
We don't have to put everybody. Just when we're doing this segment, this is how it goes. So if you guys talk, I'm gonna just remove you. So basically, Steve-O wants to do our segment of exposing GJK. So he gets a minute to talk. You know that I'm gonna go, and then he's gonna go, and this is gonna happen for 5 minutes. So that's basically what it is. So we don't want anybody chiming in. Basically, Johnny, control yourself. Don't chime in. So that's basically what it is. Johnny's keeping it all the time.
I heard him, right? So he's telling me to be quiet. So if I have to be quiet, that means everybody else must be.
Damn right.
And I will behave. I am a gentleman of my word. I can always tell y'all. So are you interested, Steve-O? Are you ready for this?
Yes, he is. That's why he came on the show. Okay, he's doing it.
Okay, look, I'm putting myself on mute, and I'm going to enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen.
So I get 5 1-minute segments.
Yep.
Yes. This is GOAT. This is Exposing GOAT James Kingdom. We have our 4th participant. His name is Steve-O. Thank you, Steve-O, for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's enjoy this.
Thank you for the invite. First, the 800-pound gorilla for all LeBron is the GOAT nation. Winning does matter. We would have never had the conversation about Joker entering the top 10 if he didn't just win a finals and a finals MVP. And you know, for the trolls, you know, spare me the Robert Horry argument. You know who the man is and who leads their team. But get into the other reasons. Wilt dominated statistically. Bill Russell dominated the winning. MJ did both. He ran his era, and I saw that come up last week. There's 10 years in an era. If you win 6 times, that's your era. If you win 5 times, that's your era. Nobody's gonna match that. And in his era, nobody else has dominated statistically and dominated winning. And there's multiple ways to dominate statistically. Magic Johnson, 11.5 assists. Bill Russell with his 22 rebounds. Jordan with his points. You can dominate in many ways. It's not one way that dominates a basketball game.
All right, is that John got a minute?
Sorry, that was exactly a minute. Good job, Steve. That's good.
I was watching the timer in the corner trying to talk fast as hell.
That is Steve, ladies and gentlemen. Steve-O. Thank you, Steve.
All right, so Steve-O, you know, that wasn't bad. Jordan definitely dominated his era. He has the most MVPs, finals MVPs, and titles since he came into the league in '84. Since he left, you know, for good, basically in '98. So, you know, that's great. Magic Johnson did the same thing. He dominated his era when he came in the league to when he left.
LeBron did the same thing. Like all of them has the most MVPs, Finals MVPs, the most titles, the best statistics since they came in the league and till they left. So that's something Jordan has as well as a few other players. So that's great. All right, let's go to number 2.
Number 2,
Mhm.
the conventional norms that he blew to pieces. It was a big man game. Now, mind you, I'm a Magic Johnson fan. I'm not a Jordan fan, but he the GOAT. He blew the conventional wisdom. Nobody could build it. You can't build a team around a 2-guard and win a championship. You can't have a scoring leader and win a championship. They built a dynasty around a 2-guard. It's 8 times in 76 championships, the leading scorer in the league wins the title. 6 times by one guy. Kareem did it once, and I believe Shaq did it once. But that he changed basketball. He spawned a new era of 2-guards or wing players in general. Look what happened in the decade following him. He just inspirational. The level of icon. No, he hit a high level of icon, and he took the league global. That's why cats are getting the bag like they're getting right now.
It's a minute.
All right. All right, that one was also good. Jordan was popular. Like there's no lie. He was popular, and not only was he popular, he was great at what he did. Like you said, he spawned a new generation of talent. So the players after him got a lot better. So that's great that Jordan dominated his talent, which you stated that players were better like moving forward than when he played. So that's good. So you going to number 3.
Never costing his team to lose. And I hear that all the time. It's a team game. It's a team game. Yeah, it's a team game, but there's one dude who carries his team by their leadership, and leadership doesn't mean you have a love fest in the locker room. You drag your dudes. If you can't push them, you drag them to get to the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is what makes the ultimate difference. The ball hog thing was nonsense. 5 assists a game for a 2-guard. 6 rebounds is crazy for a 2-guard. Damn near 7. You're leading your team, and leadership is a huge thing. And he was the best at it. I know the Bill Russell thing likes to always come up, but there's a reason why even the league itself always talks pre-merger, post-merger. 8 to 10 team league. Russell's not in the conversation, but he gets dragged into the conversation on the winning line. 8 to 10 team league doesn't compare.
All right, is that a minute?
That was a minute.
Is that a minute? All right. So first, you said Jordan never caused his team to lose. I get that. Remember when Kobe Bryant played versus the Pistons and they double and triple teamed Kobe because he went past the ball? That's what the Detroit Pistons used to do to Michael Jordan because he was not going to pass the ball. So yes, Jordan was the reason that they were not winning those series because he went past the ball. These so-called Jordan rules is to make Jordan go to uncomfortable spots because they knew he was just going to jack up a shot because he was not going to play team ball. And once he started playing team ball, that's when the Bulls started winning. And to get back on this Bill Russell thing, I don't even understand what you're talking about. Less teams means better competition. If the 90s had 8 teams, every team would be stacked. So somehow people believe that the 60 teams, they were worse because it was less teams. That just means it was more competitive during that time. And of course, Boston had the better team because they have more stars. But still, if you have less teams, it's going to be more competitive. And Bill Russell was one of the people who said that to Michael Jordan's face, and Michael Jordan didn't have anything to say about that. So, that argument of Jordan never causing his team to lose, that's a little bit ludicrous. So you can go to your number 4.
That's I'll come back and rebut that. Look at that's your favorite thing. Look at the numbers. The numbers say different. There's a such thing as and they all said it. You can own a team's soul. The winning team, the more experienced team, the one you're trying to get over the hump. Some dudes ain't got the drive, and that's why teams lose. And the ones that stick together, just like somebody spoke of earlier with Denver and their nucleus. Once your nucleus sticks together, eventually you know, your background players, their heart builds up. And that's what that was. Detroit took heart from the whole team. It wasn't about, you know, force Jordan to do this, force Jordan to do that. They weren't ready as a team. That's what happens in most situations. Teams draft and they build more so then than now. Everybody jumps all over the place now. That's why the chemistry is terrible. But you build your chemistry, you build your heart, you build your will. And like I said, by hook or crook, your leader gotta get you there. He gotta drag you, push you to the mountaintop, or drag you, whatever it takes. Because winning is the ultimate goal. That's why no superstar says, "I want to get to the final. I want to win the damn finals." That's what they want to do.
All right, that's a minute. That's a minute. That's a minute.
I don't even know what that round was about. But the only thing you were saying is that the Bulls couldn't beat the Pistons because they weren't ready. We all know they weren't ready. Jordan wasn't ready. It took Jordan 7 years before he actually picked up a weight to get better, to get stronger. It took him 7 years before he realized he needed to pass the ball to a wide open player. Phil Jackson had to go to him during the Lakers series and say, in the finals, say, pass the ball to John Paxson. He's wide open. Like that's what we're talking about. That's why Scottie Pippen was so valuable on that team. That's why Michael Jordan never won a playoff series without Scottie Pippen. And I know I know this thing that making it to the finals is like not an accomplishment because Jordan couldn't do it more than 6 times, but actually getting there is better than not. So you can go into your field point.
Number 5, sir. Number 5.
The number 5 point. I had 4 points coming in actually. So I'll come back at that. The Scottie Pippen, that's the number 5.
No, hold on. If you want, hold on. Before you go into the response or whatever Brandon has, go ahead. I guess you get 1 minute and just give your final closing statement. Then just give your final closing statement, and then you and Brandon can go back and forth about what Brandon said. All right.
All right, no doubt.
All right. So just give your 5. You got 1 minute, and whenever you start, I'll start the minute. All
right. Yeah. So my final point is reiterations, man. Like it does. It takes years. It takes drive. He always gets called a quitter, but he hung in there for 6 years of getting his ass beat, just like you said. And then finally, these dudes come in young, and some of them mature faster, some of them don't. But what happens in your peak? And LeBron he's had the longest peak. It's still going, and it's crazy, and it's insane. But what do you accomplish in your peak? And again, you have to lead your team. You have to win. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Like, career numbers are great. The averages are great, all of that. But for the big dogs, get your team there and win and dominate your decade like we spoke about earlier, because that's all you can do. You can throw the competition thing around, as many arguments. You beat the teams that are in front of you. And for 6 years, he was one of those whooping posts. And then he broke off the fence and he started whipping people consistently.
Hey, that's your minute there. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Steve-O, the Michael Jordan challenger of GOAT James, of Exposing GOAT James Kingdom. Brandon, go ahead, brother.
All right. So, that was much better than the other guys, definitely much better than the other guys. But, at the end of the day, the only thing that you stated why Michael Jordan is a GOAT was because he dominated his era better than any other player you think dominated in their era. If you're not just talking about pure numbers, you're just talking about what he did and how he was a global icon. For me, and, John, the reason we say LeBron's a GOAT because he had the other greatest career. And when you have the greatest career, you could be labeled the greatest player. Michael Jordan had, a great run. You keep talking about those 6 years. He had a great 6 years. Each of those 6 years, he had the best team in the league. So it wasn't like he was going out there overcoming things. He wasn't overcoming dynasties. There wasn't any dynasties in the 90s because the Bulls was the only dynasty, and there wasn't any team who could create dynasties in that time. Like, we didn't really go see more dynasties. I know we did in the 80s. There was a lot of great teams in the 80s, which Jordan never won in the 80s. But with like LeBron and like Kobe, like what they had to overcome is really outweighs what Michael Jordan had to come. So when you talk about Michael Jordan being the GOAT because he dominated the 90s, like we understand that. We understand what he did in the 90s. He dominated the 90s. He was the best player in the 90s. He was great in the 90s. And you keep talking about 6 years. I think Michael Jordan dominated for at least a good 9-year stretch of just dominance, pure dominance, the greatest we have ever seen. And when LeBron came onto the scene, and by his third year, he was averaging 30 points a game, the most impactful player in the league. And he's continued to be impactful up until year 20. Not and counting what he's done on the court. I know we want to say Michael Jordan is this winner, but we want to discredit LeBron for his winning. LeBron's one of the greatest winners of all time as well. So.
That's facts. That's facts. That's facts, man. That's facts. So listen, gentlemen, before we let everybody else join back on the panel and get their chance to have a talk with us, you're going to get to ask us a question, Steve-O. You're going to get to ask us a question, and Brandon and I will either respond to that question, and then you'll get your final 2 minutes to speak whatever you want to speak about, because you have been a good sport, and that's a great job by you. But you still didn't prove why Michael Jordan is the GOAT of all time. And the reason I say that, again, here we go. You started with number one. You said winning. And this is the thing with you Jordan fans that you don't understand is that whatever you are going to use to make Michael Jordan better than 5 more championships, trust me, LeBron James has enough to trump Jordan's 2 more championships. So championships is a part of the equation, correct, but it cannot trump everything. Right. You have to be a champion. You have to be able to win a championship. So you have to be a champion. So we understand that, but the amount of championships do not matter when someone has 11 and no one in the GOAT conversation is nowhere near half of what he has. You see what I'm saying? And you mentioned that statistical dominance is a part of it. You mentioned that statistical dominance is outside of scoring. 22 rebounds per game, which I've always told everybody here, is just as dominant as 30 points per game. So Bill Russell's rebounding and defensive side of the ball being dominant there alone is enough to talk about him in the GOAT conversation. Then you mentioned change game and conventional wisdom of what a 2-guard means and how you can win a game of basketball. We all understand Michael Jordan changed the game of basketball like no other has, right? But we really can't measure that. These are unmeasurable measurements. It doesn't make you the greatest basketball player because you was probably around the era of the 90s. If you really think about it, the GOATs of everything is in the 90s. Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan. It's something about cable television, right? That the era of technology and sports advancing from people just going to newspapers to be a part of the sports that they like, to where now there's 24 hours TV sports available for you to watch. You know what I'm saying? So that skyrocketed. But again, we give Michael Jordan his credit because we all know Michael Jordan is the star of stars. I say he has the greatest impact in sports in general, not just in basketball. So I give you that. That's a part of the basketball conversation. We never took that away from Jordan. Then the number 3 thing you brought up was never costing your team a championship and leadership. And you talked about the pre-merger era, which I think Brandon already exposed you on that. And then, like most of you guys, you can't get past number 3. You went back to stats and team accomplishments and continuity and things of that nature. So, again, you guys have your reasons for why Jordan is the GOAT. It sounds great, but it never really makes him the GOAT. It really doesn't. He's the greatest. He's one of the greatest players of his era, if not the greatest player of his era. But he's definitely not the GOAT if we're talking basketball. But again, if you want to talk game impact, leadership, we can have a conversation for months about it. We do it all the time. We, like I said, none of that's measurable. Because to me, if you want to talk about leadership, Bill Russell's a leader. When we watched the documentary of Bill Russell, there was a game in the finals where he hit the ball off of a wire that cost them a possession, and they were down. And he went into the thing and said, "Hey guys, I messed this up. You guys got to save me. Somebody got to do something because I fucked up." And Havlicek stole the ball, I believe, or somebody stole the ball on the possession and saved their season and saved the finals for them. So, Magic Johnson, I consider Magic Johnson to be the greatest leader of all time. I don't think nobody's greater than him. You see what I'm saying? But I can't measure that. Well, how are we going to say that? Like, what are we going to do to say that, So these are things that you Jordan fans love to talk about with Jordan. And this is why they hate Brandon and I, because we don't use stuff like that. We use your career stats and accolades and achievements. We stick to that. We don't got no time to be talking about how you feel or how great it was for you. But Steve-O, you heard both of our cases. What is your beef with GOAT James Kingdom, though? You get to ask us one question, and Brandon and I will answer as quick as possible.
Accolades usually get brushed over, and that's another thing that favors MJ. Accolades. what do you think of accolades as part of the equation? How important is it? That's my question.
Okay, Brandon, you want to answer that first?
I can answer that. Accolades, that's very important, but I don't think that's like the end all be all. For instance, I know Jordan has one more MVP than LeBron James. But does that mean, Steve-O, does that mean that Michael Jordan is a better player because he has one more MVP than LeBron James?
Different type of player, so it's hard to measure the better. That's
Well,
why
I'm just saying,
impact
like
is
does that one MVP trumps what LeBron James has done? Like, is 4 better than 5 basically with MVPs?
It trumps what he did in terms of MVPs. That's it, and it
That's
stops
all.
right there.
Yeah, because what I would say, like, do you think Charles Barkley was the best player in the league in 1993? And everyone would say no, it was Jordan. So that's why I say MVPs are great, but it doesn't trump what somebody did in their career. Just like Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash. Steve Nash has one more MVP, and it's not even close. Kobe Bryant's a better player. So MVPs do not trump that. I know they go back to, the defensive player of the year. Like, that trumps everything defensively that LeBron has done. And I just think that's incorrect. I mean, it's great that Jordan won at 88. He had 2 amazing seasons of 200 steals and 100 blocks. And one of those seasons, he wasn't even all defensive team. So
is 100 blocks a milestone, Brandon? Can you expose me on that or not? Is that considered a milestone?
For guard, maybe for a guard, maybe.
Definitely.
But not for an NBA player.
Travis is like, yeah, for a guard.
Yeah, not for an NBA player, but just like, I don't think a defensive player of the year trumps what LeBron James has done in his career defensively, because we all know LeBron was a great defender when he played in his prime, especially with the Heat. He was a great defender. Mm-hmm. So that's a great knock for Jordan to have over LeBron, but I don't think that makes him a greater defensive player.
Well, let me answer that also as well. The thing about the accolades is that Michael Jordan fans fail to realize he does not have the most accolades. It's, again, Michael Jordan is one of the most what the word I'm looking for? Credited players.
Decorated.
Most decorated player. Right? He's one of the most decorated players. Thank you for correcting me there, because Michael Jordan won a lot of awards, but you guys forget that you need stats to win any of these awards. You need to actually produce on the statistical, on the scoreboard. Michael Jordan knew this himself. He said, they're not going to pay me. They're not going to put me on an all-star team or do anything unless I score, unless I do something. So you have to actually have stats to win any award, whether it's MVP, all-star, all-NBA, all-defensive selection, whatever it is, player of the month, which is that's the problem I have with the accolades conversation, is that you guys get to dictate what accolades matter or not. But if I tell you LeBron James has 8 seasons worth of player of the month, you're going to laugh. Every month, the NBA presents a trophy for the player of the month. It matters to the NBA. When you go to their bio for the players, they list the player of the month on a player's actual bio for their resume. It's an accolade. Do I consider it as great as being an all-star or winning the MVP? Of course not. But it is an accolade. So this is where you Jordan fans have to understand, is that you can't just pick and choose what makes Jordan great because Jordan has it. Because at the end of the day, there is a large picture that we're talking about when we're saying the greatest players of all time. So yes, Jordan is one of the most decorated players of all time. That's why Brandon has him second. I have him third. He's, as far as accolades wise, he is actually, I think only Kareem is ahead of him, to be honest with you, if we don't count player of the month. But if we count trophies, LeBron has the most NBA trophies of all time because of player of the month.
It's on me?
Yeah, it's on you, brother.
Yeah, player of the month. It's not like again, I'm a Magic Johnson fan. I didn't set the standard. The standard was there, and now the goalpost is moved to be more fitting. Like, you're right, stats are important, but you're talking about stats for accolades, and typically, and I've seen it out of you and Brandon, I've seen it out of LeBron's the GOAT Nation. They want to stick to career stats, but it's season to season stats that dictate these accolades. So to your point, you're absolutely right, but it works against the big argument that is always made. Like, what the Joker did this year, what he did in the first 2 years, made it, or actually Embiid will say even he won the MVP. What he did in his first 2 years or first 5 or 6 or whatever, that was irrelevant. It's season to season.
And career. It's the entire
career.
Yes, career is part.
Yeah, career is the career. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, all of these are part of the equation, and you know, it's very typical what happens back and forth. You know, y'all want to downplay the things that aren't favorable. The Jordan side wants
no, hold on, wait.
Favorable.
Before you say that, remember what show you were on. We are GOAT James Kingdom. We do not like downplaying nothing. We don't downplay anything. We appreciate everything. We talk about greatness. We don't talk about what you did bad. We don't talk about choking. We don't do that. We bring it up because this is what has to be brought up for again, it is, I've told you guys this before. Everything that happens in the GOAT conversation has to be talked in the Michael Jordan fan logic. So we must talk about the greatness of players the way you guys want us to talk about it. I don't want to talk about players being bad. There's nothing about everybody had a bad moment in their career. That's not what it's about. How great were you? How great were you? We're not talking about how bad you were in certain moments. No, how great were you for the illustrious part of time of your career? And Jordan's had an illustrious career to be in the conversation. So we're never going to knock Jordan. But if you're going to bring up silliness, you know we're going to come at you with it because we could troll with the best of them. As y'all can see, we can really troll. We could really know how to do that. So, but you know what? It was a great speaking to you, Steve-O. So we're gonna let the panel come back on so that we can have a great discussion because you did actually a great job. So I appreciate you. I don't know if we had a conversation on Facebook or any one of our other platforms. How did you know Brandon or I? How did you meet us? How did you come across us?
I'm in a different group, and people keep sharing the you know, some of the posts. They'll share it into the next group. And
so you seen GOAT James Kingdom post? That's what you're saying?
Yep, I saw a post, and then when I saw there was a live stream. You know, I've been checking out the live stream only for 4 weeks, but it's part of my Sunday plan now because I'm usually just chilling on Sundays.
And B Lee making them crazy LeBron James stat posters be lying on the. Hey, it's good marketing. It's good marketing though. It's good marketing. Though.
I tell you what though, thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody that's sharing our content. Thanks out to all the GOAT James fans out there. Represent for y'all. So we're gonna let the panel back in. So this guys, we actually had a fully successful one. He actually got to 5 minutes. So let's start with you, Anthony. You are a GOAT James Kingdom member. What's good, brother? What do you think about the Michael Jordan fan and his representation for Jordan?
Well, like everybody said, this is the best one, and I think they've had some time to look at the failures of the previous guys to get it together. So it was good to hear this. It made sense. Okay. I'm not sure if he necessarily proved the point, but it was good. My only question, first of all, I'm 52. Steve, how old are you? Not that you have to share it. I mean,
yeah, man, I might as well say I'm 49 because my birthday is in 10 days.
Got birthday.
Okay,
man.
so I'm probably a little older than most guys on.
You say you're how old? You're how old?
52.
On the 28th, I'll be 49 on the 28th of this month. 10 days.
Yeah, Anthony's 52. Steve.
Anthony 52. Boy, you ain't no 52.
1971, bro. 1971, man. I've been around. Wow. I seen Michael Jordan in college and everybody's career. But my question is, Steve-O,
you taking care of yourself, bro.
God is good, man. God is good. But Steve-O, real quick, like, when did you think that Michael Jordan was the GOAT? When did you, in your mind, say that's the GOAT?
When he came back and pulled 3 more off, I hated seeing it. I'm a Magic Johnson fan. He took my guy down, and I don't care how healthy the team was or wasn't. It was their time, and they were going to win. But when he left and came back, and it was crazy to think that somebody could do that, be out of the game, and then come back and drag your team right back to the top. And he was the difference maker. They almost made it without him, but he was the difference maker.
The only reason why I asked that is because before he even got the 3rd championship, man, people were calling him the GOAT then. You know, it was a big conversation during the playoffs in 93.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Magic said he was a GOAT.
Yeah, he hadn't even accomplished the 3rd one yet. And they had made it segments on NBC multiple times, right? I remember that. And then when he got the 3rd, it was definitive. So that's why I hear the accolades thing. And I like the way that GOAT James does their thing. But for a lot of Michael Jordan fans, it has nothing to do with accolades. It had all to do with whatever they felt about Michael at that time. So when he had 2, going on 3, people were giving him that GOAT thing. He didn't need to get 6, he didn't need to get 5, he didn't need to get 11, he didn't need to have this illustrious thing of 30,000 points. He was given that right away. And I just,
Yeah, he was. Doc Rivers.
Can I sneak something in, bro?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
You brought something to me that I never looked at, man. You know that the exposure of the 90s. Like, and you skipped, and you were right with every damn thing you said, but you skipped one team. The 90s Yankees gets put in that same basket.
Oh, don't worry. The Cowboys do too. The Cowboys do too.
Cowboys, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
missed out on that too. I did. You're right.
Yeah, at the time, but the Patriots clearly exploded that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I got Jordan there 1 too, but I can 100% tell you everything in the 90s got overrated. Everything in the 90s got overrated. Anything from the 90s is greater than everything ever in life. That's how everybody
that was the greatest point of anything I ever heard.
Everybody just purely, that was the last of you just purely enjoying stuff. You got to go see everything. You got to go call. You want to get your girl, you got to go walk and go do the payphone.
SB never lived this. SB's 30 years old, so he's never lived that life.
93.
And at a slower pace, the internet started at that point. It was a slower pace, but it was there.
No, it was definitely a different era. A lot about the 90s is definitely iconic, nostalgic. We all know that for sure. Travis, so you've been on the show for a while. You are an MJ delegate here in GOAT James Kingdom. You finally got one. What do you think of Steve-O's talk, and what do you think about what happened with GOAT James Kingdom, exposing GOAT James Kingdom? Do you think he exposed us? Did he expose us?
I mean, I don't think it's like it would take a lot for anybody to actually get exposed. But I will say about Steve, far better than those last 3 morons you had on here, like the last 3 weeks, which is painful to watch the last few weeks. But Steve was.
Did you see your video with you? I told you that you were the co-star, and did you see it? Did you see you? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. But no, Steve was very clear, concise, well presented. Everyone I think has a different way of presenting their argument because it's crafted in a way that, it's according to whatever they believe or their narrative. Like mine, I just say I believe that there's 3 people that you can. I think Duncan maybe it's. I mean, legitimately 3 people. You got Mike, Kareem, LeBron, because of like everyone was saying, it's the totality of their career. I believe Mike's to go because I think on a game-to-game basis and career-wise, he checks all the boxes. Like you said, he leads in most advanced stats, if we're talking it that way. Win shares per 48. He's second in playoff PER, first in regular season PER. He's first in box plus minus, playoff and regular season. And he has the most finals MVPs. So when you have one player who dominates and is first in so many of these areas, yes, like you said, there's things that are go overlooked, like you said, play of the month, sure, things like that, various longevity stats. But when you have ways that the NBA has set up to measure a player's impact, and one guy is garnering the majority of those, that's the GOAT. Forget about the points per game because, like you said, we've debated that a while ago. Like he could have been 27, 7-7. Could have been a Larry Bird, 24, 10, and 6. It doesn't matter. He got the job done, and he's the leader. However we want to spin it, on a game-to-game basis, he's objectively, again by most measurements, the best player. I'm not saying he didn't have any failings. Of course, we talked about the Pistons. No NBA superstar has no blemishes. I think we all agree on that. We're not idiots. We're not unbiased.
Travis, are you trying to steal your 5 minutes right now, Travis? Are you trying to steal
Travis.
5 minutes, right? Travis is trying to steal 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't have to. I can stop.
Okay, wait. Well, let me say something to that, Travis, because you always on this thing about what Jordan did in the 90s. It was great what he did in the 90s, and his advanced stats. Okay, it's great. The per game is per the 90s. If you take someone who averaged 36 and 5 today, it would be a lot different because of the pace of play. So that's why Jordan advanced stats are so much higher in the 90s because of the pace in the 90s. You take Jordan, his stats, you put them in today's game, they would not be the same because of because the advanced stats are towards the pace of the game. So that's why Jordan stats are as high because of the 90s. Like we always say, Jordan dominated in the 90s. His advanced stats show how much he dominated in the 90s.
Well,
That's
no,
not
Jordan
true.
would be a 48-8 guy today.
Okay, all right, okay, all right, Ralph. Let's go to Ralph.
Let's go, Ralph, my boy, Ralph. Are you there, Ralph?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
It's
here.
good to see you. Listen, brother, you haven't been here for 3 weeks. Have you seen the people that showed up? Have you seen some of the clips? I know you have. Please tell me you have, bro.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, you have. Okay, so what do you think of the whole segment that we created? Because it's your first time seeing it, and obviously your boy Steve-O stepping up today.
Steve-O, I think he held his own. On this one. I can't speak for the others. I'm ashamed. That's why I always say I do not take one for the team because of the previous ones. But my man Steve-O, I gotta give you props, brother. You really you put
Appreciate
you
it.
did your thing, man. You did your thing.
Mhm.
I've been battling these guys.
Are you a member of GOAT James Kingdom, Steve-O? I'm sorry, Ralph. Are you a member of GOAT James Kingdom, Steve-O? Or have you?
Nah, I drop through there all the time. I gotta hit the follow button.
I appreciate it. Go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead.
Like I've been coming on the show since October of last year, and you've actually put up a fight. I mean, Craig came along a little later, and I had a partner, the battling these two guys, and you came up here and with the segment that they got going on, you actually did your thing. I hope you get back on the show so we could convince these guys somewhat.
Remember, Ralph, your job is not to convince us.
No.
Your job is to check us. We're not supposed to go off the ledge, especially
trolling.
I
can admit when I'm
trolling. You
trolling.
got to make sure me and Brandon not making Jordan look too bad. That's your job. We don't make Jordan look too bad.
Oh no! You ain't gonna. Y'all make yourselves look that way.
No, I'm saying Jordan.
If you slip up, you're gonna make yourself look bad. I ain't gonna make you look bad.
Listen, we don't never look bad. We show up here in GOAT James Kingdom attire. Y'all can always get the merchandise when you join the membership at GOAT James Kingdom and look as good as Brandon and I every Sunday. You trust me on that. SB,
Brandon ain't got the merchandise on today though.
Yeah, now he's chilling. He got on the do-rag. He's chilling. He came for war. He
look like a 1%er.
SB, y'all know SB is the man. SB, what you think of the whole segment? Because you ducked out last week. Don't even start.
I didn't duck. Oh my!
You ducked out last week, brother.
I gotta take me off that picture. I didn't duck.
We're gonna take you off. We're gonna take you off, but you did duck last week.
Oh, I was wondering if that was SB. I was looking at close. I'm like, is that SB? Yo, SB, you gotta get.
But now you see. Well, even like you see how we kind of did like on rap. But now you see when you watch me debate on FYF. That's what the format. That's what I was used to. And then you low-key cook yourself. Because I've been doing something with the kids. When you post the comments, and I called you BJ, or actually I don't know why I called you BJ in the chat. I said B. Lee wrote his rematch. I'm thinking debate for him. So when you said 1 minute, I'm like, what the hell y'all talking about? Like, no, I came for the debate. I know
we give y'all 5 minutes.
Y'all actually catch me in there.
You 5 minutes.
1 minute thing. I know what you're pulling. This first time I cut up by y'all ain't finna put me in no genjutsu and try to trick me. No, we gonna debate the right way. I ain't folding for that. What you think I am?
All right, so Brandon, have you heard of that? Have you heard of FYF Sports? You should follow it with your YouTube channel.
No, I don't.
We could all get on there.
Good stuff going over there.
That'll be at least if we debate again, Billy. That's a fair platform that we have even.
This definitely a fair platform.
This was fair too. We gave you a fair shot. You see, Steve-O had his fair shot. You just ain't as good as
you. The one who asked for it. You the one who asked for it.
I know we can do it though.
You just not as good as Steve-O. So explain why you couldn't do what Steve-O did. Can you please?
No, I didn't just say I wanted to debate like we debated last time, and then you see how I debate on FYF.
So 5 minutes is not enough for you. We can't give you 5 minutes.
I don't want no 1 minute intro. Nah, and then y'all ain't cut him off though. Y'all usually be boy, that's a lot.
Listen, hold on, wait. We're not gonna cut you off. As you can see, we have a whole panel of guys here. You guys understand that we are on a time restraint. But this is not TikTok live, bro. We're not gonna be here for 4 or 5 hours with you gentlemen. We actually do have kids. We are fathers. Okay, all right. So just because you get paid at work right now, SB, while doing this, not the rest of us. Okay, we got other stuff to do. Okay,
gotta make the time go by fast, man.
All right, Wayne, what's good, Wayne? So you've been involved with this, Wayne. What you think about what's been going on with the S and Steve-O, the whole, it's your turn, it's your time. Speak, brother.
Yeah, the last couple of guys were just straight trash. And I think on one post I said, listen, these guys are so piss poor. I might have to come and do a 5-minute thing against Go James Kingdom because these guys they were just garbage juice, man. Come on. So even as I was listening to Steve do his piece, I realized that he was just articulating the points so much better than the other guys. But the crazy part for me is I like the Michael Jordan career and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys are just, as I like to say, ear tarts. They can never stick. I've always said this. Have your criteria and then plug each person you think is the GOAT into the equation. And it must stand the test of time. I don't care who you like. Put them into the same equation and see what happens. And they never can do that. It's always something else. I got the accolades. All right, no, rings are the thing. All right. Robert Horry. Oh, no, the numbers. You got to introduce numbers. You ain't got no more numbers than Michael Jordan. You just said rings are the thing because Michael Jordan got more rings than LeBron. So now you can't use the numbers when it suits you, and the rings when it suits you, and then something else when it suits you. And you got about 5 different criteria that determining Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And every single thing, every single area that Michael is ahead in, those are the only criteria being used for Mike. I'm like, you can't do that. You just can't. And this is where, and I'll just tell you guys how I came to like really come into this sports thing. I had Michael Jordan doing his thing. And then all of a sudden I go online in these sports groups and I'm seeing like, all right, these are the standards for Michael Jordan. And then I see LeBron having, hey, this guy is right up there. And I'm like, and these guys are saying, no, that category is not important anymore. When in the entire history of the NBA wasn't the all-time scoring record important? As soon as LeBron gets something past Michael Jordan, it's trash, straight trash.
It's longevity.
I don't get it.
It's longevity, like longevity
had
stats.
15 years.
I mean, well, he been past Mike technically. I don't think it was when he made the one. I think because they never show Kareem love. That's the problem. And then now everybody.
Yeah, and I'm saying,
I think they should have been Kareem love.
No, because
Kareem fan
the truth
groups.
is because like Anthony said,
because
like Anthony said, Jordan didn't need none of that to be the GOAT.
Right.
So
right.
for them,
they said he was the GOAT since earlier, just because he was better. Larry Bird and Magic were winding down, so to speak. And he was doing a damn good job of promoting the league, etc. in that time. But you got to give credence to when people surpass previously held standards of greatness. Now we're going to have close to 40,000 points, 11,000 rebounds, and 11,000 assists. What the hell are we going to do with that? That's going to be trash.
What? No, it
they
can't
said
be.
They had about 8 persons on a graphic, 20 years or more, and LeBron is doing this thing on that graphic.
Did you guys see the graph I posted recently where I added players' career stats to Jordan's and they couldn't match LeBron? Did y'all see that at the Hall of Fame? Did anybody get a chance to see that? None of you guys. I know you saw it, Travis.
Yeah, why you let me pick the player, man? You picked a certain player with the number that added.
I pick players. First of all, I pick players that you would consider to be in those particular categories. So when you talk about scoring, you can put Bill Walton. When you talk about assists, you can put
Bill Walton.
Y'all don't count Bill Walton in the '86 playoffs. Y'all want to count him all the time?
No, who says we don't count him? He is one of the greatest players. First of all, is he a Hall of Famer, top 50 and top 75?
Top 75.
What are we talking about here? That's his career. That's his career points. That's how many points he has for his career. You put that with Jordan. You put Bill Walton's points and Jordan points together. It doesn't equal to what LeBron James did. That's just fact.
That's the same. That's the same thing they did with when they said
Wow.
Michael Jordan has there's an entire career
If
between
you
Michael
put
Jordan
Dirk,
from
and
accolades.
LeBron.
put Dirk and LeBron rings together, still don't equal up to Jordan. So like that don't make no sense.
I get you, but that's rings. That's rings.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I mean, that's a
right.
top 75 Hall of Fame player.
That's a team
But
accomplishment. That's what I'm
Come
saying.
on.
It was a top team
You gotta be
accomplishment.
consistent.
That's what I'm saying.
Last score is the Michael
Injury
Jordan
ridden
defense to be
career.
No, but the
consistent.
only reason we state that because it's like Wayne says, 30, 10, and 10 should not be trash. 40, 11, and 11 should not be trash.
You
That's
could put
actually greatness. That's up there with
Here's the
other great
thing.
stuff to do.
I want to say,
but you can
could
just
put
write
Kareem,
that off as disingenuous. I'm sorry.
because you could put Kareem's Finals MVPs and Magic's, and it doesn't match up to Jordan's Finals MVPs.
I got you that. But how do you
No,
get
but
finals?
they were very
finals
selective
MVPs
in
without
who they
stats?
put.
The same reason you
Again,
get
everything in
8,000 points in
you have
playoffs.
to get without
Team
stats
that makes
besides the
playoffs.
championship. For Jordan to have the one MVP over LeBron, he has to have the stats. He doesn't have the stats over LeBron to get the one MVP. For him to have the 3 defensive selections over LeBron, he has to have the stats. How many steals does Jordan have over LeBron James?
All we ever hear is how.
I'm gonna look
What the heck?
But you're talking about a year-to-year award with career totals.
We're talking about your total accomplishment. What you accomplished. Jordan has 32,000 points. You guys act like that's nothing. That is great.
And somebody has 38.
For assists, you pick Joe Dumont. Come, this is nastiness.
He said Joe Dumont. He said Joe Dumont is having 46,000 assists for his career. 46,000, 4,600.
No, I'm just saying you could have picked another all-time great.
No, I just went to show you. I could have went to Pete Maravich. Pete Maravich has only 3,900 for his career, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Let me check.
Right.
This is nastiness.
He said, "Of course it's nasty because LeBron is that GOAT."
Nah.
He said, "Nah." He said, "Nah."
Quality over quantity. That's what it is. It's quality.
He thought he was slick by putting Isaiah Thomas for the second for the playoffs, and he like LeBron got like 20 more over. Hey, this is nastiness.
So you telling me Jordan and Isaiah Thomas's games played is more than LeBron James' games played in the playoffs, and LeBron James still has more assists than both of them. I believe somebody here claimed Jordan was a great passer. LeBron is a small forward. He's a small forward, sir. He's a small forward.
Who's scared?
He was a point guard.
He assists more. Hold on, I'm on the grill
my
right
thing is,
now.
I heard Jordan is the all-time leading in assists in the finals. So I put
No,
his
he
assists.
said he was
I put his assists.
assist for a non-point guard.
Listen. If you take, even if you want to go to average, if you take their average, it's even worse. LeBron will average still more than them because he just
averaged
that great.
2 more assists than Jordan for a career. 2 more. He
For 20 years.
1 rebound as
That's a
a
lot.
Oh, you know what?
That's 20 years.
I know it's
what?
That's a lot.
forward that averaged 10 rebounds for a whole career. LeBron averaged 7 as the same build type. So you mean to tell me a 6'6" guard who averaged 6 rebounds for a whole career is bad because a 6'9" small forward averaged 1 more rebound, where there's a 6'9" forward that averaged 10 for 19 seasons?
You're conflating the two.
Ralph.
You're conflating an average with an entire
Listen.
career total.
Craig knows you don't take one for the team. So while you was gone, Craig was live just like he is right now, just holding it down.
Hello, Craig. This is these posts be nastiness. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, it's good.
That's why I was doing that whole thing yesterday when I made the whole post about turnovers. There was a whole big reason why all-time turnovers don't count because we go by the ratio.
We didn't say all-time turnovers don't count. It only counts because of LeBron James.
Your buddies do in the group.
It only counts because of LeBron James. It only counts because of LeBron James.
So the turnovers don't matter?
I didn't say it doesn't matter. I said y'all only think it matters because of LeBron James. That's what it is.
I'm actually doesn't matter.
We can say he's the same. You tell me the greatest scorers. All I got to do is go on NBA.com and see who has the all-time leading scorers. Boom. But with the turnovers, I can't do that. I got to go to assist to ratio to see, okay, he averaged 2 assists for every turnover.
Can't use your averages.
So that nullifies the fact that he got almost 5,000 turnovers. That's what y'all been saying.
Wait,
if they're going to use it for the bad, if they're going to use averages for the bad,
LeBron James is the greatest scorer. That means he's the worst. He's the worst player with the basketball because the turnover there. By your
Okay, you're there, SB, right? I would like you to pull up the all-time turnover list. Please pull up the top 10. Top 10.
No,
He's gonna
SB,
bring
why
I
is
know where he going
LeBron
with
the
this.
worst
I
player
know
with the
exactly where he
ball?
going with this.
Go
No,
ahead,
I said
Travis.
Bayola. I
Hey,
don't
Ralph,
think he the worst
welcome
player
back,
with the ball.
Ralph. Welcome back, Ralph. Go ahead,
I know
Travis.
exactly where he going with this.
Go ahead, Travis.
I know where he's going with it too.
I know
He's
where he's
gonna
going
say, oh,
He gonna
wait,
name the
Go ahead,
players
Travis.
on that list.
John
Go ahead,
He gonna
Stockton.
name the
That's
players.
I just want to know why LeBron is the worst player with the ball.
No, I said by his logic. I don't think
No,
he is.
not by my. Again, we don't.
When did he say that?
Because he said totals. He said LeBron the greatest scorer because of totals.
Yeah,
so I said,
he
why is
did.
that
He
the same
did.
turnovers?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
he
ahead.
did.
Okay, so go ahead.
I think LeBron
Travis.
got the highest IQ in basketball. I think he's the best player to have the ball in this series.
Me too, but unfortunately, by their logic, because he has the
By
most
y'all logic,
turnovers,
it don't make sense though.
he's the
Well,
worst.
I don't know what logic y'all talking about. Like, what makes turnovers make someone a bad player? I don't understand.
I mean, because
Because he used
turnovers, you
totals. He
can't
said
score
totals
when
is
you turn
everything.
over the ball, right?
Because of what? Because you can't score.
You can't score. You can't score as a team if you turn in the ball. That takes points away.
Yeah.
Don't it not?
So do a missed shot take points away as well, or it's just a missed shot?
It's a attempted shot. You shooting the ball. You're not giving the team an opportunity to score.
I think he's number 2 in attempts too.
Hold on. Go, listen,
But now go ahead. The list is LeBron, Carmelo, Russ, Moses, John Stockton, Kobe, Jason Kidd, Julius Erving, Artis Gilmore, James Harden. He on the list next to Russell.
Okay, wait. Now my next question is: out of all those players he listed, can anybody tell me which one of those players play basketball bad?
See, I knew that's where he was going. I knew that's where he was going.
Making. What they got to do with decision making with the ball?
No, my question, because from my understanding, what you're trying to say is that because you have the most turnovers, you are bad.
No. Your logic is that.
Your logic is look at the totals.
Okay, so
Totals,
what does being the top turnover of all time means for LeBron James? What does that mean? How is that a negative?
He has the most. I mean, you care about totals that much. I'm just saying.
Again, I'm asking you, how is being the top?
This the totals that he doesn't
turnovers
care
are
about.
bad.
More than anybody ever.
Turnovers are bad when you're not a good playmaker. Everybody that you see there on that list are all great playmakers, and the reason they're on that list
Carmelo
is
a great playmaker.
Yes, Carmelo set screens. That's playmaking.
Oh, now we're using the eye test because that don't show up in the. That don't show no stat.
Yes, there is. There is a stat. They keep actually stats for screen assists. They actually keep a stat for screen assists.
Well, not for Carmelo because most of his career they didn't have those stats.
But they keep a stat for that. But I'm just saying, we all know he was a screener. Yeah. We all know they ran the pick and roll. Come on, we really gonna do this? Are we gonna do that, Ralph? We gonna do this?
No, I agree.
All right, Travis, go ahead and go, Travis.
Based on the eye test.
Travis has something to say.
Average. Yeah, go ahead, Travis. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right. So the only thing I'd say is, like, not to get wildly off topic, but when we're talking about, and I think a lot of what we're talking about right now is like longevity related stats, which ones are good, whatever. I tend to be in your corner. The longer you play, the more turnovers you have. But at the same time, to go along with SB's point, we can't just disregard it because it's a negative stat. Also, but everything in context. Am I going to say that John Stockton's the best offensive defensive player in history because he has the most assists and steals? Of course not. But
John Stockton passed better than
yeah, but of course
he's great defensively and he's great offensively.
Sure.
That's the point.
But we can't. But no one would ever say he's the best because of his totals. We would say he's a great player.
No, but we're going to say that he's great because and the stat says that. So if I told you he's a great passer, I can go to the stats. If I told you he plays great defense, I can go to steals.
But is he the greatest player? Is he the greatest player of all time because he has the most?
He's one of the greatest point guards of all time because of stuff like that.
LeBron James,
he's top 25, like Brandon said, top 30.
He's not better than Magic, though, right?
But Magic does more than just pass and steals the ball. That's what you understand. Magic is more.
Magic
has 3 MVPs that this guy doesn't have.
Magic. So Magic has more. Magic has more rings.
Oh my God.
So Magic has more rings, MVPs, and a higher assist average, right? So he's better than John Stockton.
Yeah. No, you said passer. If we're talking about passer, John Stockton is the greatest passer.
He's talking about passer, not the greater player.
Passer.
Wait. Why is John Stockton the greatest passer of all time?
Bro, 15 assists on 4,000 turnovers is what? A 3-1 ratio, brother. Nobody passes the ball and creates more than John Stockton.
So it's not the total wise. It's not the total.
It's the totals. It's the totals. And with that, when the man averaged literally man averaged literally 10 assists and 2 turnovers per game. That's incredible.
I know a guy that averaged 30 for a career.
Listen, he had 15,000 assists and 4,000 turnovers. What is that? That's a 3-to-1 ratio. What other player has that?
That's the plumber that
Magic Johnson.
No, he doesn't.
Magic.
No, he doesn't.
Magic, yeah. But I don't think John Stockton passed the ball better than LeBron.
Average.
Y'all think
Magic has a 10,000 thing, and he has almost close to 4,000 turnovers for his career too.
Johnny,
yeah, but you have to divide that by the number of games.
That's what I'm saying. It's less than 3. It's like
Johnny,
it's like 2.9 though, Steve. It's like 2.9.
Johnny,
2.8. It's not 3.
Y'all think John Stockton passed the ball better than LeBron?
Yes, John Stockton is the greatest passer of all time.
No, he's not.
Bro, listen, this man's passing ability.
They gotta stand 10 toes
Brandon used
down.
to argue with me about this. Listen, this man used to tell guys, "I'm gonna walk you up the court." They used to get mad. They used to be like, "You can't walk." He used to walk the ball.
He ain't playmaking like Bron, bro. Stop it, bro.
I like a Giant. I used to hate on Stockton all the time. Like I used to call him overrated. He was the most overrated player I ever seen. He's not that great until I started listening to Hall of Famers like Gary Payton, Jason Kidd explain why John Stockton was great.
Go ahead.
After they explained why John Stockton was great, I can't really say that no more.
So, Johnny, I have one question for you also.
So his career, yeah.
I can't do it. I can't fold.
Nah.
Hey, Johnny.
I'm listening.
So, objectively, what do you think? And this is kind of just going back to your original point. What position do you think throughout history was more stacked? You think it was shooting guard or small forward?
Small forward. Shooting guard is trash. After like,
I don't know.
Are you talking about stack as far as elite talent wise?
Who has the best top 10?
Like consistently?
The small forward position. The small forward position.
No question.
Okay.
Steve-O mentioned it before Jordan, bro. The shooting
I
guard.
would say shooting guards.
I say shooting guard
might be the weakest.
No,
I would say shooting guard.
Okay, you're talking about all time.
Here's my point.
I mean,
Now,
that's close. That's close. But go ahead.
So here, my point is just not even comparing directly Mike and LeBron together, comparing them in the context of their own positions. LeBron, there's 8 major categories. You got points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. Those are just some of the major ones here. LeBron is top 2 in points and assists. He is number 12 in rebounds, 9th in steals, 17th in blocks. This is per game. Field goal percentage, he's 17th. Free throw percentage, he's 107. Mike is top 5 in every single one of those categories, aside from field goal percentage, free throw percentage. He's top 10. Field goal percentage, he's 34th all-time free throw percentage. Top 5, including first in points per game. And that's across every shooting guard of all time. He's top 5 in virtually every metric. LeBron is top 10 in 3 of them out of the 8. So dominated his position far more than LeBron dominated his. Just another thing on top of the pile.
Yeah, but that could be a reflection of the shooting guard position.
But what does that mean? You're not comparing them to the same
I mean, you're not comparing.
Yeah, to the
That's
same
across,
He didn't play
that's across every
shooting guard. He didn't play the best shooting guard.
Ain't nobody
What?
shoot guard to compare to. No,
That's across every player.
No, but you're talking about
Hey,
small
nobody ever two guard,
forwards. Think about the small forwards I'm about to name to you. You're talking about Rick Barry. You're talking about Julius Erving. You're talking about LeBron James. You're talking about who else? Larry Bird.
Elgin Baylor.
Baylor. I mean, you're talking about like Kevin Durant.
Alex English.
Like we're talking about a lot of great Scottie Pippen. We're talking about a lot of great, and it's a versatile position because remember, you could be a small forward that is kind of tailored to being a perimeter guard type of guy, or you can be a small forward that's similar to being like a big man. So it is a versatile position. So it's hard to say like Jordan's gonna list high because he is an actual guard. LeBron is playing a versatile position. He still lists high in rebounds and in like the perimeter things. So like LeBron lists high in interior stuff and perimeter stuff.
Can we not?
That's not really high.
Go ahead, Ralph.
What you say, Ralph? He's not bold.
Wouldn't that benefit him?
Huh?
Wouldn't that benefit LeBron to have his stats much higher?
That benefit him to have what?
7 boards a game isn't that high for the small forward position. It's below average, actually.
No, I know that because there's a lot of small forwards that their job was to rebound, so they're different. You're not going to find a guard that's going to rebound a lot at all. So when you say Jordan has 6 rebounds or whatever, I mean Stephen Curry has 6 rebounds per career. Is that great?
He doesn't have 6 rebounds a game for his career.
I think it's like 5 or 6, bro. Hold on, wait. Let's go
It's
look
like
at
4 or 5 or something.
Is it like 6.1 or something?
No, and Stephen Curry has rebounds. Y'all got to stop this, man. Let's go. Hold on, wait.
Like for me, I think the thing with Jordan and the guards that he didn't really play versus the best guard.
Okay,
because you got Vince Carter, you got Ray Allen, you got Kobe, James Harden. Like he didn't play versus those guys, so of course his stats are going to be superior than Reggie Miller, Mitch Richmond, and Clyde Drexler because that's who he played against. So
that doesn't make any sense though.
Why not?
Because it's comparing to. You don't play those same 2 people every single night. So the competition argument's ridiculous. Kobe wasn't playing Michael Jordan and Dwayne Wade every single night. There's scrubs across every single era. They're not going to affect you, especially if it not goes defensively. It shouldn't matter. And this is a comparison to everything. It's like not just
scrubs.
Travis, you think that
I'm saying there's scrubs on every team, right? They're not everyone's a Hall of Fame player today. Right.
Anyways, like I was saying, that the level of competition Kobe played in his era was more difficult than Jordan's era. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I mean, in what way though?
But
team wise,
there were more offensive guards. When you have to guard an offensive player, you're gonna expend more energy than when you don't have to.
Reggie Miller.
Simple as that.
And Kobe, okay. So who besides who Dwayne Wade was gonna give Kobe buckets every single night? There's not gonna be a consistent answer.
There was a lot. There was, like you said,
Kobe
Dwayne Wade
did guard people like Durant.
Travis, who's the top 5 shooting guards of all time on your list?
Mike, Kobe, Wade, Drexler, and probably. I don't know.
Harden?
It's the fifth is tough. I mean, Harden, yeah. You could say Harden, maybe.
Okay, top 5 small forwards. Top 5.
But his career's not over.
Top 5 small forwards.
Forwards: Bird, Doc, Pippen, LeBron, Durant.
Okay, so if I told you I'm gonna go out there with a 5, and I got LeBron, Durant, who you said, Bird, Dr. J. Who's the fifth small forward? Pippen. And you name the small forwards quick. You named them quick.
You can throw Wilkins in there, maybe.
No, exactly. Look, you even went 6. You had trouble finding 5 on small guards. On shooting guards. You went with Wade, Kobe, Mike, Drexler.
You forgot about Harden. AI. Yeah, I'm surprised you said AI.
Or AI. So off the top, what you're saying right now, your top 5 list, the top 5
Tracy
small
McGrady.
Forwards, from your list, the top 5 small forwards are better than the top 5 small guards.
Easily.
Debatable.
Not debatable.
It's not debatable. It's not
debatable. You said Drexler.
Yeah. I don't think that's relevant.
Yeah,
he brought Steve-O. This is what we do, Steve-O. He brought up the positions. He said they're supposed to be Jordan dominated his position, but he got Clyde Drexler to the 4th greatest shooting guard of all time.
Well, why wouldn't he be? He has the stats to back it up.
But he's nowhere near Bird or KD or the guys that you were naming, the Julius Erving. That's what I'm saying. The small forward position is the pool for that is way larger than guards. Shooting guards.
It's not way larger. You have, I would say, you have a bunch of good shooting guards across the entire spectrum. You got Mitch Richmond, you've got Penny, you've got AI.
Point guard.
Penny a point, yeah.
There's a lot of shooting guard too.
Penny's a point guard.
Let's be real.
Yeah, like after he left
he's
the
a point guard.
Magic, after he left the
Rod
Magic,
Strickland.
Havlicek or Mitch Richmond?
Jerry West.
Skill wise, I mean that.
Don't go skills.
I'm gonna take Mitch Richmond.
But don't go to skills, because if we go to skills, I'm gonna throw Shannon Brown out there. Shannon Brown is super skilled. Vince Carter.
Mitch Richmond, prime Richmond with school Shannon Brown.
I don't care about how skilled you are. Mike Beasley is super
career wise is Havlicek. We only got to argue. It's Havlicek.
Exactly. So I'm saying you just brought up Mitch Richmond as Havlicek. You know how many great small forwards there are? Rick Barry. Are we really doing this?
All right, Steve, you had something to say?
If you're the GOAT, why was that matter?
I would go George Gervin as the 5th one.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Let me hear what you guys say.
That's a good one, Ralph. That's a good one.
The head-to-head talk of LeBron played in the era with Kawhi and KD and this one. that's like pretending that every single defensive possession is just a straight up ISO, and that's not the
Exactly.
case. There's help defense all the time, and that's why like you need to have a chemistry and you need to have team defense. Look how quickly the Lakers, after they made all those moves, they went from the worst defense in the league. And all the numbers said after the trades, they gelled and they had a cohesive, great defensive unit. So, and you know how many guys benefited from not, or Schroeder and them benefiting from not getting cooked from Steph, because they were scared to take it to the bucket because AD was inconsistent on offense, but he was a monster patrolling the paint. So that offsets the head-to-head matchup. Schroeder's not that good. Steph would eat his lunch if they had all ISO.
Yeah. Plus,
So
who was Kevin Durant locking down?
That's a bad metric because that's just never the case.
Head-to-head matchups do matter to some extent, because I'm thinking about the era, having lived it, right? Jordan in a playoff series would face Gerald Wilkins, who couldn't shoot. Right? He would face a Kerry Kittle, a Kendall Gill. These guys weren't really good players. John Starks. These were guys that shot 43, 44% from the field, averaging 15, 16
Hershey
points.
Hawkins.
3 rebounds, 3 assists. They weren't, that's who he was playing, right?
They weren't threats,
Reggie Miller was,
but their averages.
No, Reggie Miller was 18 points a game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds.
Yeah.
No, these guys were not good players. They weren't good players.
But what about
when Jordan was playing? That was during his prime, and during Reggie's prime, he was up there.
Yeah,
no,
and I mean, I could say that
you have to chase Reggie Miller around.
I mean,
he was different.
Jordan never guarded Reggie. That's the problem.
But these guys were all one-dimensional players.
When Jordan really guarded Reggie Miller, Reggie said it himself. Reggie said Jordan rarely ever took his matchup because he didn't want to run around screens and get tired.
Those games are on tape, and that's BS.
Yes. Yeah. Which game you talk about? He rarely guarded Reggie Miller said it himself.
Any Bulls Pacers
if
game,
you watch the 98 playoffs, Michael Jordan rarely picked up Reggie Miller. He guarded Chris Mullin.
A 35-year-old pushed him. Jordan wasn't sticking him. Then Jordan pushed him.
No, Reggie pushed Jordan off
because he wasn't guarding nobody.
We had to wait till Jordan turned 35 to say he didn't.
Jordan was in the way. Jordan was just standing there letting Pippen play defense. That's why.
Ridiculous.
Greg, I hear you. Stupid.
So by that logic, 7 points per game, Bruce Bowen destroyed LeBron James in 07 finals, right?
Bruce Bowen is an 8-time all-defensive player. You know how many people have
media awards
selections?
Wait, it's about the matchup, right?
How many points he got? How many points he got? What's the total?
Again, if I bring up an accolade, you have to have the stats to match it. Go look at his stats. Go look at what he
was. That's what I just said.
Look at his defense.
Not you said scoring. What does scoring have to do with his defensive?
What's his stats?
His stats is good defensively. He's one of the best defensive players of his era. What are you talking about?
So like I said, only on the defensive end should that matter, right? When you're talking about who you face on it. So who cares if LeBron is guarded by Kevin Durant?
You brought up Bruce Bowens because
who is Jordan being guarded by?
That's what I'm saying. Jordan's not being guarded by an 8-time all defensive player, is he? But who's that player?
That'll help your argument.
Okay, so he's 36 in that series.
8-time all defensive player guarding Jordan.
I'm gonna be honest. Bruce Bowen's stats do not support his all selections. I'm looking at it right now.
Go look at his metrics, Ralph. Go look at his statistics all together. You got to remember, it's all about.
I'm looking.
The eye test tell you he was 8-time. His stats tell you he shouldn't have been 1 time.
Here we go. We got to do this again like we normally do. Let's go, Ralph. So what you got, Ralph?
Yeah, Travis. Who's guarding Jordan?
The 8 times, like
who's guarding Jordan?
A
bunch of people: Michael Cooper, Sidney Moncrief,
averaged no more than
Rodman.
I mean,
and he lost most of those series, right?
Hold on. Let Ralph go. Go ahead, Ralph.
He didn't average no more than a steal a game. His defensive win shares, 04, 05. I mean, you got an argument, maybe 3 years. 4 maybe, but not 8.
Well, you have to argue that Bruce Bowen was not a great defender. You already lost.
No. I'm not saying he's not a good defender, but I'm going off of what Johnny just said. He said the stats matches up with those accolades. So I'm looking at it to see if that's the case. And when I look at it, he has the support for 4 years on even in advanced metrics, but for 8 years, no. It does.
Okay.
Which advanced metric was he not high in?
I mean, the highest I see is 06, 05, 04, and 2001.
What defensive metrics you using?
Defensive win shares, defensive box plus minus, and the steals per game. I mean, he averaged no
He
more
was
than a steal
between
for his career.
01 and 2008. Okay, his defensive win shares is 28.8. So that's what it was. But in general, he had the highest he had between that time was 4.6, and the lowest he had was 2.2. His defensive box plus minus, his defensive box plus minus was as low as 1 point and as high as 2.2.
And where does he rank towards other players at that time? You guys are naming off numbers. You already know what they mean. So where does he rank towards the other players at that time?
I would have to go for the season and look at that up for the season. So we would have to go by the season. Hold on, wait. That would take some time.
Some things go beyond the numbers. When you shot the ball, he was right in front of you, challenging you, and that's the best you can do.
He was one of the great defenders of all. Come on, man, he has 8 all defensive selections. Like, I don't know why we talking about
that's what I'm saying. It's like I based upon those numbers with what I see, I could see he supported 4 years definitely.
I was waiting to say that Jordan got 9.
I mean, if you look at Kobe's stats defensively, it doesn't rank high, but he has 12 all defensive teams.
Yeah, and that's my point. That's what I'm saying. He said the stats supports those, and it's not the case all the time.
Just like Mark Gasol, advanced stats support him being Defensive Player of the Year, but we don't see him as a defensive player.
In 2004, in 2004, Bruce Bowens had one of his highest defensive win shares. He was at 4.6. That was the highest he had. Out of all small forwards in the league that year, the only person that had a higher one than him was Meta World Peace, which was Ron Artest. Out of all non-big men, this is really a big man stat, only Steve Franchise, Manu Ginobili, and
what year was that?
That was 2004. Defensive win shares. That's his highest year. He had a 4.6 defensive win share. He played 82 games that season. The only other small forward to have a better win share than him, defensive win shares, was Ron Artest, which we all know plays good defense. Okay, and the only other outside of in the perimeter defenders, we're talking about perimeter defenders because this is really a big man thing, is basically Steve Franchise, Manu Ginobili, and basically and Ron Artest. Other than that, it's all big men. Everybody else. So as far as being a perimeter player, he's one of the best in defensive win shares of the league. That's just 2004, but she was an all defensive player then. That's what I'm saying. Bruce Bowen is a great defender.
Yeah. I mean, definitely that year, I agree with that. I'm just
bringing up that year. I'm just bringing up that year to show
out of
you that.
all the 8 years, out of all years, he was an all defensive team. I mean, I see 4 definitely, and you could arguably 5, but the rest I don't see. That's what I'm saying.
No, all we're saying is that obviously LeBron James is the positions as far as small forward is way much more a larger pool of elite great players compared to shooting guards. We can all agree that. So using that's not fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like saying, well, Shaq's not better than Jordan because Shaq's the 5th all-time center. How many centers are greater than Shaq? It's not fair.
I mean, greater than Shaq, you could obviously. I mean, you can make a case for at least 4 or 5. But
that's what I'm saying. Just because Jordan's the greatest shooting guard of all time, doesn't make him better than anybody.
no, I didn't say that alone. I'm just saying, if you're measuring anything, and like especially relative to their position, there's a lot more boxes that he checks. I mean, and you're saying, well, LeBron's all around.
This is what I want to do. Because this is what Jordan fans don't ever do. I know Ralph kind of did this and Craig did this, so it's not really up to them. Because we did this before. If we was going to make a hypothetical greatest player of all time and you wanted to create what stats they were supposed to have, how much does Jordan really check off compared to everybody else? So like, if
I'm not saying that I would rank him. I would draft him first. My first draft would be 70s Hakeem or Kareem.
70s Kareem would be your first pick overall all time?
I think that was the best any player's ever been from 70 to 79. 6 MVPs, 11 all defensive selections, 11 block titles.
I might have to go with Will.
No, I'm saying, so wait, you looking at it from a draft day?
If I had the first pick.
Are you looking at it from a draft day perspective of what we know from how their career gonna end out?
So yes, if I knew what I knew now, and I had one pick, like to start my team, I'm taking Kareem.
Okay,
well, you know, leadership go right out the door once you put Kareem on your team.
I can't pick nobody. Like now, we talking about
Kareem was militant.
Now we talking about like, say if like we take out what if we take out what we know their career gonna be, and just from that draft point perspective, of course, Kareem is the greatest high school college player ever. What? I agree with you on that. But from what we know from the end of that, no, I gotta take Michael LeBron, and it might be LeBron just because I don't know who I got on my team. But
well, I mean, the main reason I pick him,
LeBron, I can't do it.
The main reason I pick him was because I know, like, and I'm not saying like he had the best end of his career, but I know from at least 10 years, I'd have arguably the most dominant stretch by any center of all time, and then I could build around that.
Y'all gonna laugh when I tell you this. Well, we used to play 2K, and we used to have fantasy league with my friends. I had my draft pool, and literally it was LeBron, Mike, and then I picked Bird third. I would pick, that was literally but that was in 2K because big men are not effective in 2K and compared to real life. But I don't know. That's kind of weird though to say that you can have Jordan as the GOAT, but then say you would pick Kareem is kind of hard to explain, Travis.
I mean, it's not.
If I got the first pick and and this is like before their careers even started, not counting that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I would go Wilt.
Yeah, man, Wilt's the beast.
I would go Wilt for the fact that
big man. Oh no,
mind you, Ralph don't even have Wilt in his top 10. You know what?
Yeah,
Ralph, I can't even have you talking like this.
That's crazy.
Now I got him in my top 15, but not my top.
This is top crazy. Who just said that's not crazy? That was you, Anthony. You said that.
No, I said that's
Ralph,
crazy.
Wilt probably in your top 10.
No, Wilt's not in his top 10. No,
I mean, Wilt right out of mine too. I'm debating from that point. Him, Hakeem. Wilt, Hakeem, and stuff like.
I think like my 10th slot is very
Hakeem.
Like you could argue. No, I got Hakeem at 9. I did an All NBA, and I got Shaq at 10. And 10, Wilt and Shaq is a very arguable. Like if you want to put
think
Wilt
Hakeem
over
better than
Shaq,
Shaq?
it's fine.
Ralph?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Because like you gotta understand with Hakeem though, it's like it was unfortunate that he wasn't able to have a team at the beginning of his career, because we seen where he did have a player on the side of him. He went to the championship.
They went 6. Oh wait, that happened. Never mind.
What?
Well, I mean,
but what I was saying is like when we seen that Hakeem had help when he had Ralph Sampson, he went to the championship in his second year. But after Ralph Sampson got hurt, he was very unfortunate to have that sidekick player, and that's the reason why he wasn't able to make it to that finals the way we seen once he got a good complementary players in the early 90s.
He needed a Pippen.
I think that's another reason why
the difference
I
between then and now is it's developing a player and waiting the time versus free agent frenzies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that's not considered in these conversations is the difference of the structure of a team versus what it is now.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you look at Hakeem, how the way he was playing in the early of his career before he won his championships, he was killing it. I mean, a center averaging 2 assists, 2 steals and like 4 blocks. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Along with scoring and rebounding, that is bananas. So when I look at Hakeem, I have to put him up there like that.
I mean, I flip a coin for 90s Hakeem or 70s Kareem for the starting pick. I mean, you can build around those people big time. I mean, the only reason I don't pick Mike first is because it'd be monumentally harder to build around a guard. If you don't just have any players you can pick after that. Instead of, you need that anchor. I think Jokic has proven that a little bit more. Giannis to some degree. Embiid. Last 3 winners of the MVP are all big men. It's kind of normalizing, getting back to the way it was late 90s, early 2000s. So,
I mean, big man is the NBA. It's no matter how they try to stray, it's always going to come back to the big man, and we're seeing it right now with Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. It would just be a matter of time. Just build around a big man. That's all it takes now.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look back, like what teams, what dynasties have there ever been without a dominant big man besides the Bulls? Like none.
None. Yeah.
Golden State.
Actually,
Golden State.
Oh yeah. Golden State. Yeah. The Bulls and Golden State.
Yeah, they changed the way basketball's played because, like, look at the threes now. Look at this year, and the teams that don't go overboard, like I saw that number earlier that Denver shot far less than Boston, who shot like 43s a game, and teams never did that until Golden State. Small ball came in. But it was really only Mike D'Antoni who was giving it a whirl. But as soon as bombs away won a chip, everybody went bombs away after that.
That's because I think Curry is arguably the most impactful player in NBA history. From impact. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only way a little person can. He can't get into the hole, so what else he got to shoot because they gonna knock him on his ass if he drive the lane.
Hey, he did it. I mean, that's why he's in my top 10.
Yeah, that was one of the things the commissioner talked about in a podcast is, the physicality. That's another thing that always comes up in the debate is the physicality difference. But really, defense hit an all-time high from in the 2000 to about 2014, 15, and they changed the rules because it was, for the fans, it was boring. Now they turned it into – that's why – everything, like just a few minutes ago, it went back to stats. That's not always the answer. This is the get numbers era by design, and the commissioner says so in several interviews and articles.
Offense, tickets, defense make you change the chance.
And to address this guy in the chat, his name is Keep It 100. It doesn't say a lot, bro. It just says that I know basketball and that we're picking the people who are going to control and have most impact on the game, and that's the best centers in the world. It always has been. Doesn't mean I don't think Jordan's the GOAT, but am I picking prime Shaq, who I know is, or Kareem, or to like just from a make it make sense perspective? Absolutely. Give me Hakeem too over Jordan, the first pick ever.
I mean, Jordan's the only guard that you have in a GOAT debate with. Like, there's no other guard you can have a GOAT debate with. Everybody's either forward or center in the GOAT debate. Like, come on.
For me, for my pick, and I'm basing my pick based on if like I'm going off of previously before draft. It's not like after their career, I'm not basing that pick on that. If I'm looking at, all right, like I do agree with you, Travis, like to where if you're gonna look at, I'm on draft day and I have to look at what they did in their college career and everything. Yeah, Kareem, he definitely has an argument to where I would have trouble between him and Wilt. Like if I have to look at them, it's like, who do I pick? It's going to be a head scratcher. I mean, we can there's other players, like if we're looking at it that way, like as well as Bill Walton too. I mean, Bill Walton had a crazy career in college. Same thing with Pete Maravich. Pete Maravich, for all three of his college career, he averaged over 40 points a game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of players.
I just think Kareem because that's just my opinion. Like 70 to 80, 6 MVPs. I mean, scored. He's going to drop 30 points.
You're not wrong, Travis. I'm sorry I got off real quick. I did something and got myself knocked off. You're not wrong, Travis. I was just shocked that you stated that. It's not wrong. Kareem, we all know Kareem is great. I mean, let's forget about it. I wonder what Kareem would have did if he could have went into the NBA after his freshman year or his sophomore year, and what he would have did like in '69 and '68. That's possible. You know what I'm saying?
He'll be facing Bill Russell and when Wilt had some more in the tank. Like that would have been we really would have seen.
And Bill Russell, he could have played against Bill Russell too. So
I don't think so. Bill's last year was 67, wasn't it? Or
no, 69. It was
69.
69.
Oh,
Kareem
shit.
came
Yeah,
the
so he
next.
would have
Kareem
had 2
came the
years.
next year. Kareem came the next year, and Kareem played all 4 years. If Kareem would have left his sophomore year, he would have played 68 and 69 in the NBA.
Yeah. Hey, there's a
Yeah, and
case
like
for Kareem,
Bill
but
was
there's a case against him.
Bill also was like during that time, he still was a good serviceable center in 67, 68. I mean, 69, he was still rebounding the ball, but he wasn't as impactful as he was on the scoring aspect as he was in a
the
couple
head
of those
coach.
years.
He was the head coach. He was the
It's
head
like
coach.
those last 2 years, like arguably, I mean, I think Hondo would have got, he was translating into being that number one guy.
One question I wanted to ask you, Johnny, is how important. I mean, I think we've like touched over this a little bit, but to you guys, how important? I mean, do we just say era doesn't matter at all, or how important there is?
Nah. Me personally, I don't judge. See, I used to be one of them guys who be like, "Oh, this era is weak." Nah, it's what you're faulting the player when they were born, and that's totally disingenuous. It's what you played in front of them and how dominated you was within that era, and that's how I look at it.
You know what?
I look at it like.
What keeps.
Oh, go ahead, Steve-O. Go ahead, Steve-O.
You know what keeps Bill Russell, like, he's on the fringe of the conversation. It boils down to MJ and LeBron, because what Bill did to dominate is not sexy. That's why the NBA changed the rules for more points. That's what sells tickets, and that's why Bill gets overlooked, because he did a non-sexy.
But he scored a lot of points. But yeah, no, he didn't. But Wilt Chamberlain did. It wasn't really a scoring. It wasn't really a scoring thing. It was more of a, they wanted rivalries, so they had the rivalries in the '60s. They had Wilt and Bill Russell. The ABA changed everything. Once you have a league now that said, hey, you know what, we'll let these guys be flashy and play street ball, which was basically black basketball. We'll let them cross over. We'll let them flashy. We'll let them do all the dunking they want to do. And then they added exactly the 3-pointer. But to answer your question, Travis, I do take into accountability your era and you dominating your era. I just don't take it as a factor into the GOAT conversation because you didn't play in the same era. So it's not. I can't compare how Wilt dominated compared to Kareem, compared to Jordan, compared to Magic, compared to Kobe, compared to LeBron, Stephen Curry. A lot of these guys dominated their era in different ways. I made that point. I do take into account though what the era means though, right? How you dominate your era compares to your era. So like I said, Jordan played in the era where he was able to transcend the game because his game was able to do that. They changed rules to help him do that. Wilt Chamberlain's the same thing. LeBron's the same thing. So there's a lot of players who dominated their era, which makes them great players. But I just don't know how to equate it. I just don't know how to measure it. So I don't know how could it be involved into the conversation.
I have a question for everybody. Did y'all see that AI algorithm that was posted? That
the chat GTP thing.
It was a tech. I want to say it's a sports tech, a tech like a data company, and I want to say they're a sports data company, and they measured everything to where the points, the rebounds, all of that, the stats, and they also measured to where what went throughout your career, the playoffs, games, and all of that other stuff. And I think each one was a fraction of a point that they measured. And they came up with a top 11 list. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I think maybe I did. I think Johnny Arnett did something similar to that.
Because I actually watched it on Player's Choice, and it was on Fluent and Chill.
Was it the one where Tim Duncan was second?
It was Jordan, Duncan, Kareem, LeBron, Kobe, Bill, I want to say Akeem, Wilt.
Yeah, I wonder what metrics they were using. I'm still confused on what metrics they were using.
They actually Fluent actually explained. He explained exactly how they did the.
I think it was points, rebounds, assists, which are advanced stats, and like you've got the defensive side really weighed heavily. That's why you have Duncan up there.
And they also measured like the accolades and like the teams that they faced as well. Like everything was included. How the way he was explaining it.
I would
don't-
love to see it, Ralph. Tag me on any post that you see that would help me so I can see. I would
Yeah,
love to
can
see
you
it.
share that, please?
What huh? Oh, I can. I'll post it in Go James Kingdom of that list, and I'll look for the video where they talked about it, and I'll post it in there as well.
All right. Well,
I don't know
look,
if they could even do advanced stats on the.
Nah.
You know, they didn't even
you
count
can't.
block.
Listen.
I'm saying,
Brandon did it. Brandon's did a criteria, and he included advanced stats. There is a way to include advanced stats. It's not like you can't.
no, it's can you do, because they don't have advanced stats on like the Wilt
Certain
Chamberlain,
ones. Yeah,
Bill
yeah.
Russell era. They
That's
didn't
true.
even
Well,
count blocks.
That's true.
No.
So how can
They
you do
they
advanced stats and give
they
those guys
have
a fair shake at it? You know.
well the
There you go,
advanced
Steve-O.
stats
There you go, Steve-O.
hold
Good
on.
job.
The advanced stats they do have is PER. They have true shooting. They have also offensive win shares, defensive win shares, and win shares. They do have those.
Yeah,
They just don't have the
they
other
have it,
stuff.
but
And
it's
if
not
they
the
have that,
full
that's
body.
LeBron.
It's not the
Yes.
full body's
Yeah,
worth.
it's not
If they
the
have
full
that,
body.
it's LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron win shares, offensive win shares, defensive win shares are all high. He's up there on all that. So, but anyway,
They did, like I said, they just didn't count the stats. They also like the teams that they face and everything. They counted. Like everything's measured at a fraction of a point.
Yeah,
How he was
basically.
explaining it.
send it to us, Rob. Put it in the Go James Kingdom group. Listen,
I
y'all,
got you.
it's been over 2
Yeah,
hours.
because if they had counted stats, Bill Russell would be off the charts. Wilt would be even farther off the charts.
Exactly.
And he did state, he was like, unfortunately, like Bill and Wilt, those players didn't have those steals and blocks to where it didn't make them lower. He did stated that in the video. But I'll put the video in the list in the Go James so y'all can see it.
No doubt, man. Listen, y'all can definitely holler at us on Goat James Kingdom and Facebook, where you know Ralph and everybody's at. Also on TikTok, right here on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. It's been 2 hours. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our holiday, man. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Steve-O, thanks for being a part of the program. Thanks for being a good sport. You did a great job representing Michael Jordan. Travis, Ralph, Craig, the MJ delegate stayed on. Thanks so much to Anthony, SB Sports Talk for showing up. Who was the other person that was here?
Wayne was up here.
Yeah, Wayne was here. Also, Wayne, shout out to Wayne. Listen, you can catch all these guys on TikTok or Facebook. They're available all the time. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share the content. We are Goat James Kingdom. This is the Goat James Kingdom show. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Y'all can catch Ralph. He's about to go live on TikTok now. And catch y'all boys on Facebook, man.
I appreciate the invite, fellas.
Thank you.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, shout out to everybody in the comments. Keep it 100, 0. Everybody, man. Represent everybody. Frederick, you know, everybody, man. Thanks so much, Crash. And we got some of the haters here. Chris is here. Shout out to everybody, man. Thanks for joining us. This is Goat James Kingdom. See y'all next Sunday. Y'all have a great week, brothers.
All right, see you guys.
All right, thanks.
All right, follow me at Ralph Alexander 65.
Yeah, make sure to
TikTok.
follow him. On TikTok, baby. I'm about to go on TikTok soon enough. All right, brothers.
All right. Hey,